eat a meal fast? Turn to your local Super One Foods. Whether it be wings and dip for watching the big game, or simply a delicious, healthy meal that's sure to satisfy even the picky eater in your family, we have you covered with convenient grab-and-go food options, all at the affordable prices you've come to expect. So leave the cooking to us and stop by your neighborhood Super One Foods, serving you lower prices and better choices.
With me today,
We're gonna have a good time.
you've convinced me. I'm ready to switch my account.
Oh my gosh! Specific answer. They're learning quick.
Can we Google it?
Whatever.
All
Okay.
business
He's a quick
assets.
study.
There's so many words I want to say.
Be careful.
It is a love story.
You bet it is.
Fair.
You're. I wasn't done.
Ask the questions that you think are silly. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Hanging out and enjoying the outdoors.
So come join us at the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where every day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and make your mark on the world. We can't wait to welcome you into our hive. Go Yellow Jackets!
There's nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the boss with a new footlong cookie. This might be my favorite sidekick ever. What?
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
Together we learn.
Together we study. Together we research.
Together we compete.
Together we climb.
Together, we perform.
Together we relax.
Together we are a community.
Together we are superior.
Let's put our stamp on this region. All right, let's do it emphatically. Yellow Jackets, 243.
in a pinch and need a meal fast? Turn to your local Super One Foods. Whether it be wings and dip for watching the big game, or simply a delicious healthy meal that's sure to satisfy even the picky eater in your family, we have you covered with convenient grab-and-go food options, all at the affordable prices you've come to expect. So leave the cooking to us and stop by your neighborhood Super One Foods, serving you lower prices and better choices.
With me today, we're gonna have a good time. You've convinced me. I'm ready to switch my account. Oh my gosh!
Specific answer.
They're learning quick.
Can we Google it?
Whatever. Okay. He's a quick study.
There's so many words I want to say.
Be careful.
It is a love story.
You bet it is.
Fair.
I wasn't done.
Ask the questions that you think are silly. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Opportunities for dining, shopping, hanging out, and enjoying the outdoors.
So come join us at the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where every day is an opportunity to learn, grow, and make your mark on the world. We can't wait to welcome you into our hive. Go Yellow Jackets!
There's nothing better than a Subway Series footlong, except when you add a new footlong sidekick, like the boss with a new footlong cookie. This might be my favorite sidekick ever. What?
Every epic footlong deserves a perfect sidekick.
Together we learn.
Together we study. Together we research.
Together we compete.
Together we climb.
Together we perform.
Together we relax.
Together we are a community.
Together we are superior.
Westman Arena on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where tonight the Yellow Jackets, the number one seed in the conference tournament, will open the WIAC semifinals, taking on the Falcons from UW River Falls. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. I am John Garver, and yes, you heard that correctly, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time since 2021, that was a COVID season, so let's erase that one. For the first time since 2009, the Yellow Jackets are the champions of the 2011, are the champions of the WIAC, and they got that all-important number one seed, meaning the road to the championship, the Commissioner's Cup, will go through Westman Arena. The Jackets off at last week during the first round, then getting a little bit of time to get away from the rink, get rested up a little bit, and they're chomping at the bit to take the ice here tonight against UW River Falls. Falcons, the number 4 seed in the WIAC tournament, they were in action last weekend against UW Stout, and they swept the Blue Devils, putting them here in the building this evening. Other WIAC series will have UW Stevens Point hosting UW Eau Claire. We'll keep an eye on that throughout, but our focus is going to be right here at Westman Arena, where the Yellow Jackets are going to look to get a jump on this WIAC semifinal series with a big victory over UW River Falls here tonight. Lots more to come on the pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. We'll take a look at the starting lineups. We'll take a look at what else is going on around the WIAC and UW Superior. We will also have our normal conversation with Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. All that and more when the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce, continues right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. About 25 minutes away from the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and UW River Falls in game number 1 of this WIAC semifinal series. Yellow Jackets had the bye last week, so you got to go back 2 weeks to February 15th to see the last time the Yellow Jackets were in action. They were at home here against UW Stevens Point, skating to a 2-all tie in the regulation and overtime portion of the game. It went to a shootout, and the Yellow Jackets outscoring the Pointers 2-1 in that shootout, giving them that extra point that they needed to get the top seed in the WIAC tournament. Stevens Point scoring twice in the opening 20 minutes. At 10:43, Anthony Poulias, his 13th, made it 1-0, and then at 17:15, third goal of the season for Tyler German, and it was 2-0 Pointers after one. That was the end of the evening for Yellow Jacket goaltender Jack Boschert. He departed with an injury. Jan Skorpik came in, and he was masterful the rest of the way for the Yellow Jackets, finishing with 14 saves in his 2 periods plus overtime of play. Yellow Jackets would get a goal 39 seconds into the second period. Reed Stark scoring his team-leading 13th of the season, getting a puck in the left circle and just kind of one-timing it past goaltender Alex Proctor. And then at 10:21 of the second period, the Jackets drew even. Cade Shea scoring his second goal of the season. Dauphin and Stark got the assist. Great pass by Reed Stark. Very patient play. And he found Cade Shea coming off the bench right down the slot. Great shot by number 12. And it was tied 2-2 after 2. No scoring in the third period. No scoring in the overtime. Jackets probably had the best of the opportunity there because they drew a power play early. And Matt Francois kind of gave that one away with an undisciplined penalty that allowed it to be 4-on-4 for a while. So each team got a little bit of power play time in the OT. They go to the shootout. Stevens Point shot first. Skorpik stops the first one. Gavin Rasmussen scores. They follow with a goal themselves. Stevens Point did, rather, getting the goal from Sean Bunting. Skorpik got a piece of it, but not quite enough to squeeze the glove. Then Reed Stark went and didn't score. Back for Stevens Point, it was Chris Engelbert. He was stopped by Skorpik. Chris Ishmael was stopped by Skorpik, and that's when the first three, that you're done there, and now it's a sudden death kind of thing after that point. Stevens Point's Dawson Trino comes in. He gets stopped by Skorpik, and then the Yellow Jackets bury it. Carson Riddle scoring the goal, and I said that night, and I'll say it again, he's never scored a bigger goal that didn't count than he did that night. That gave the Yellow Jackets the extra point. It gave them the conference championship and a really big win at Westman Arena that night. So with that victory, they get the number 1 seed. They were off last weekend. Them and the number 2 seed, Stevens Point, were each off. Got the bye. It was an important bye. Jackets were a little bit beat up physically, have some injury issues that they had to deal with. So it was very good for them to get that time off and be able to convalesce a little bit. And meanwhile, UW River Falls was at home last weekend taking on UW Stout as the 4 seed played the 5. And on Friday night, River Falls beat Stout 4-1, and then shut them out on Saturday 4-0. It was a testy series, if you will. There was a little bit of aggression in that series, and it was very intense. They're a pretty strong rivalry. They're separated by about a half hour on I-94, so it was a very tense couple of games there. But River Falls emerging victorious. 4-1 on Friday, 4-0 on Saturday. In the other quarterfinal, I should say, UW Eau Claire defeated Northland 8-1 on Friday, and then followed up with a 4-0 win on Saturday, setting the table for this weekend, where River Falls is here and Eau Claire is at Stevens Point. Yellow Jackets and River Falls, no strangers here, as they have met many times over the years in the postseason. Dates back to 1994. They played in the NCHA semifinals here at Westman Arena, and then played in the come on, John, be smarter than that. Then played in the third place game, or in the NCAA championship game that year. And first time the Yellow Jackets had made an appearance in the NCAA title game, they ended up losing to River Falls 6-4 on that one. Heartbreaking loss for Coach Nelson and the Yellow Jackets in that one. But all time, Yellow Jackets and River Falls 8-3 in postseason play. So no reason to believe that this one is going to be any different. These are going to be 2 pretty tight games here at Westman Arena. In the polls this week, the national polls on U.S. College Hockey Online, UW Stevens Point coming in at number 9, the Yellow Jackets at number 10, River Falls receiving votes in that poll. And then on the D3 Hockey News poll, Stevens Point sitting at number 8 and the Yellow Jackets at number 9. So both the Jackets and the Pointers ranked in the top 10 nationally heading into this weekend. Big weekend here at UW Superior. In addition to this one, at the Lydia Thiering Fieldhouse, the Yellow Jackets are hosting the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships. Events got underway this afternoon around 2:15, 2:30 in that ballpark, and they will continue on into tomorrow with the events beginning at about 10:30 at the Lydia Thiering Fieldhouse. Women's basketball with a big victory on Wednesday in overtime over Martin Luther, advancing to the UMAC championship game, which will be at the Mertz tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. the start. The Big Sound Matt Johnson on the call right here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV pregame show at 4:15. Away from UW Superior this weekend, women's hockey on the road for their semifinal series in WIAC, taking on River Falls. Jackets at 12-2 overall. River Falls 20 wins, 3 losses, 2 ties. 7 p.m. tonight, 2 p.m. tomorrow, Hunt Arena and River Falls. We'll keep our eyes on that one. And hopefully Coach Simon's team can continue this little win streak they got. They've won their last 3. And it'd be awesome if they could steal one from the number 1 team in the country. Softball on the road. The Yellow Jackets are 1-1. They are on their way down to the UW Oshkosh Invitational Saturday and Sunday. They will play Wisconsin Lutheran, Loras, Oshkosh, and Beloit. And then baseball open their season this week. Yes, playing outdoor baseball in February in the upper Midwest on a 50-degree day. I'm not making this up. It actually happened. Unfortunately, they didn't come away with any victories, losing twice against Gustavus. They are 0-2. They will play Carleton College on that same field down at Gustavus on Sunday and Monday. And that is your walk around what is going on here at UW Superior and around the WIAC. We're about 18.5 away from the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and River Falls. Game 1 of this WIAC semifinal series. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back and we'll have a look at the starting lineups in this one, both for the Yellow Jackets and UW River Falls, when the pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce continues right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. Back at Westman Arena, a little over 16 minutes away from the start of this one between the Yellow Jackets and UW River Falls. Game 1 of this WIAC semifinal series. Same 2 teams tomorrow night, and hopefully that is all we are going to need. We will not talk anymore about the additional hockey that could be played until we absolutely have to. Starting lineups in this one tonight, as always, are sponsored by Superior Choice Credit Union. Yellow Jackets are going with Jan Skorpik in goal, a 6'1", 170-pound junior out of Czechia, my bad. Czech Republic, Czechia. Can be either of those things, but not Czechia. I was told I was corrected on that here a while back. Making his 7th appearance on the season, he's 4-1-1, a 0.92 goals against average and a .963 save percentage. His numbers propped up by a shutout streak that he is in the midst of. 220 minutes and 6 seconds since he last gave up a goal. You have to go all the way back to early December, the last time the red light was turned on behind Jan Skorpik. He will get the start in goal for the Yellow Jackets this evening. The starting defense pair in front of him, no surprise, Matt Danziger and Dusty Bergstrom. The forward line tonight will be Matt Francois centering Colin Pedersen on the right wing and Cade Shea on the left wing. Other Yellow Jacket forward lines, the top line remaining intact. Justin Dauphiné will have Daniel Roosevelt on the right wing and Reed Stark on the left. Gavin Rasmussen will have Logan Nickerson on the right wing and Carson Riddle on the left. And Chris Ishmael will have Alexei Yarmolnik on the right wing and Blake Setter on the left. Other defense pairs, Sam Brennan partnering up with Tyler Ryder. And Evan Axel will be partnered with Blake Holmes. Frank DeVorney is the additional skater. Jack Boschert will back up tonight, as well as the Yellow Jacket sophomore Kobe Grant. On the other side for UW River Falls, Brennan Boynton will get the start. Boynton, a 6-foot, 180-pound junior out of Champlin, Minnesota, making his 28th appearance on the season. He's 16-10-1, a 2.48 goals against average, and a .914 save percentage. One shutout in goal for him tonight, on the season. So he is obviously clearly carrying the mail for River Falls in goal. He's played all except for about 85 minutes on the season. The other goaltender, Nolan Lacoste, who's backing up tonight, doesn't have a record this season, even though he's played close to 90 minutes. So he's come in 3 times in relief so far this season. Starting 5 in front of him, the defense pair will be Cole Teleke, and Tyler Lee. And the forward line, Ethan Lindahl will have Dylan Smith on the right side, Johnny Myers on the left. That is a very potent forward line for River Falls, as Dylan Smith 31 points on the season, including 15 goals, and Johnny Myers 30 points on the season, including 15 goals. So that top unit can score some goals for the Falcons. 13 and a half away from the start of this one between the Yellow Jackets and River Falls. We'll take a break and come back and have our conversation with Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. On the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. It's Friday night. The Yellow Jackets back home for Game 1 of their WIAC semifinal series, where they will play host to UW River Falls. I am John Garver. We're joined by Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna. And, Coach, last time out, you got to go back 2 weeks when Stevens Point was here for that regular season final series and that Saturday night game. What an incredible hockey game and a charged-up, emotional finish to it.
Yeah, it was a good weekend of hockey up here for sure. Hats off to Stevens Point. They came to play. I wish we could have done it in a little bit of a different fashion, but we got what we needed to get done to be able to host hopefully the tournament, right? So it was a pretty neat experience, I think, for the guys. It was probably by far the best crowd we've had in my time here. Hats off to the baseball team for showing the love. We'll bring it back to you, I promise. But it was a good, hard fought. The second game was better, not because we got the point or beat them in the shootout, but we played better in the second game than we did the first game. I thought the first game we kind of tried to feel out. The process lasted too long. And they were able to build their game, but in the second game, we kind of got it going. We had a great second period. That period came out going. Starkey got us going. Shea got the equalizer. Both teams tightened up defensively then, and then Franny managed to turn a 3-on-3 into a 5v4. I don't know I don't know how that all worked out, but it did. And then we got it done in the shootout, and it was pretty cool.
Reed Stark had himself a really good game, maybe the best game he's played all season long. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was on the puck. He was physical. He played a very determined game. He met the challenge that I gave him head on. In terms of like top players need to be your top players at the right moments, and I thought it was one of his best games in a Yellow Jacket jersey.
He got that big goal the first minute of the second period that cut that lead or that deficit, I should say, in half, and then made a really brilliant play on the goal by Cade Shea. And I mean, speaking of Cade Shea, it felt great for him. He's had a difficult year with the injuries and everything, and for him to score that massive goal, biggest goal of the season, was really cool.
Yeah, and part of the reason, Cade Shea's been banged up this year. He came in banged up, and he wasn't himself in the beginning, and then we kind of got to the bottom of it. We put together a plan, and I thought he's been playing some really good hockey. Cade Shea was, going into the season, I was looking at it, I was like, this, here's a difference maker. Not because of the points that he put up. I mean, because, like I said, he was 25, 30 points above some guys coming out of the NA, which is a top league, right? But he's also played in 2 Robertson Cups. That kid has played in meaningful games for a long, long time. And the moment wasn't too big for him. I mean, that was a great goal. And that's why he's in the lineup again tonight. Let's go.
First period comes and goes. You're down 2-0. You make a goalie change, and Jan Skorpik comes in and didn't shut the door. He slammed the door on that night.
Yeah, Jan's come in on relief twice against Point, and he's only given up a goal. So he's been good, and he was good going into that World University games, and he's come back a different kind of player. I think just getting those consistent starts really helped him, and he had a really good tournament there. And then we've been able to kind of feed him a couple of games here down the stretch, and that's why he's kicking again here tonight.
It brings a different element too, because the way he handles the puck back there, and it's the whole third defenseman thing, but he makes life easier for them and on your forwards too.
In all honesty, it changed everything. We were having a harder time breaking out the puck until he got there. He was setting pucks up for our D, all that stuff, and it kind of, in all honesty, something I kind of overlooked. I didn't even really think about that, and then when we put him in, I was like, oh, looks good. And we'll just leave it at that. Now I know.
You get to the shootout, you get through the overtime period, you get to the shootout, and then decisions have to come. So how do you decide who's going to go in those situations?
I have no idea. I have no idea going into a shootout. Kind of depends on how guys have played. Depends. Well, this guy scored. I was at the junior game, and he was really good in the shootout that one time. And let's put him in on that. And, and then against Proctor, it was, I think, a certain type of shooter. Was kind of what we were looking for because of the way he plays the position. And we saved some guys for later, let some guys kind of find out. And then we went with Riddle, and, Riddle's played a lot of meaningful games too, and he, we wanted to put a shooter in, and he, Proctor didn't even move, in all honesty. He wasn't expecting it, and it was a great goal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I like the fact that he didn't get fancy with the stick handling. He came in, he made one little move, and he shot the puck. Gives you the win. I use air quotes on that. You get that number 1 seed then, but more importantly, the bye. How big was that week off?
It was good. We kind of battled a little bit of that sickness that was going through. I think the guys were able to kind of take their foot off the gas for a minute, kind of relax, not so much enjoy the moment, but just be okay, you can't stay, you don't play on Friday and Saturday, so you can't stay that ramped up, right? You have to take your foot off the gas, kind of relax for a minute, get back, pick apart your game a little bit more, clean some things up, so on and so forth. And we were able to kind of go through a little bit of a mini training camp, practice maybe a little bit longer, so then this week we could go a little bit less, keep the guys fresh, so on and so forth. Got a couple of days off, so it was good.
So now you flip the page here as the week off is over. You got River Falls in your building here tonight, a team you saw just a few weeks ago. They played last weekend, won 2 games against Stout. Obviously, you know what you're going to get, but what are you going to get tonight?
Well, you're going to get, they're going to come out trying to check us. I think they're going to play a very defensively structured game. They're in that 1-3-1. They kind of pack it in the D zone. They want you to feed their transition, or they want to create transition. So again, we just got to manage the puck. We have to force them to defend. We have to get to the net. It's really the recipes for success now kind of stay the same. Again, I was a little bit more concerned about us than I was about what they're going to do. We already know. Each team knows each other's structure. Each team knows each other's tendencies and habits, right? So, you're not going to change that, right? You're not going to change that. So, who can get to their game quicker? Who can bend? Who can make the other team break while they bend, and kind of just go about it that way.
Haven't had a semifinal in this building in a long time, Coach. Let's have some fun tonight.
Here we go, buddy.
Yellow Jacket head coach Rich McKenna, 9th season behind the bench, 109 wins, 104 losses, and 19 ties, his all-time mark. His counterpart, Steve Freeman, in his 29th season, 466 wins, 281 losses, and 67 ties. That's going to do it for the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show, sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. When we return, the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and the Falcons. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. Back here at Westman Arena, moments away from the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and UW River Falls. Game 1 of this WIAC semifinal series here at the home of the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets and Falcons in one semifinal, and Stevens Point and UW Eau Claire will be dancing in the other one. The 2 winners will advance, and we will have the WIAC champion crowned approximately a week from tomorrow. Joined now by Jason Roan. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Excited for some great hockey. Playoff hockey, baby.
Playoffs. It's like you have no choice but to do the Jim Mora playoffs anytime somebody says playoffs. But it's kind of rarefied air, Jason. I mean, I mentioned it with Coach McKenna in the pregame interview. I'll touch on it again here. We haven't had a semifinal series here in ages. You got to go back to 2009, and even then it wasn't a series. It was a one-off game. And the Yellow Jackets beat St. Norbert in that game 3-1. It was an absolutely dynamite hockey game. But, yeah, it's been a long time since we have had semifinal action here at Westman Arena. Jan Skorpik defends the goal. 2 hour left. Yellow Jackets going left to right here in the opening frame. Matt Francois to take the face-off, and we are underway from Westman Arena in Superior. The WIAC semifinals between the Yellow Jackets and River Falls. The opening face-off sponsored by Barker's Island Inn, Northern Wisconsin's Island Getaway. Puck is in the Yellow Jacket zone right now. Francois tries to chip that up the right wing boards. It's not going to come out. The puck coming back down low. Bergstrom with a good retrieval, leaving it for Danziger, and he'll play it up the right wing boards. Francois gets it to neutral ice. River Falls will take it back, and Tyler Lee dumps it into Yellow Jacket territory. Danziger now for the Yellow Jackets here. Sends it ahead on the right wing for Colin Pedersen. He plays it deep into River Falls territory and gives chase. Takes Joey Foss into the boards right corner. Foss able to get the puck around the wall, and that's going to be played all the way back into the neutral zone. Back Jackets will back that one up. Blake Holmes right side. Subject of our taking a lap this week was Blake Holmes, the senior defenseman for the Yellow Jackets. He moves it ahead on the left wing. Stark, rink wide on the right. Roosevelt, he dumps it into the right wing corner. Jackets, Dauphiné chases it down, feeds behind the net. It hops over the stick of Stark back there. And back the other way now comes River Falls. They flip it to neutral. Gloved out of the air by Tyler Ryder. He chips ahead. Roosevelt's got it now. Roosevelt here across the line. Fires, and Boynton makes the save. Rebound picked up. Roosevelt taken down. We have a player in the net. Roosevelt gets dumped. Play continuing on. At center, it's dumped down into Yellow Jacket territory, pursued by Holmes. He'll leave for Ryder. Ryder tips it up the left wing. It's not going to leave. Yellow Jackets try to clear the zone. That still doesn't come out as River Falls plays it to the front of the net. Holmes blocks, and he'll flip that back out into neutral ice. River Falls will regroup inside their own line. Pass ahead intercepted. Roosevelt gets crunched along the boards, but able to dump that one into Falcon territory. Boynton comes out, plays it for Alex Davis. Now he'll move it back behind the net for Benares. Anthony Benares to clear. Gavin Rasmussen tried to get up there, but the arm's not quite long enough. River Falls will take it and dump it in. Skorpic sets it up behind the goal for Brennan. Over now, DeVornay on the left side. DeVornay is going to play that one ahead out to neutral ice. It's loose just outside the River Falls blue line. Jackets with a steal. Rasmussen wires one in on net, and Boynton will make the save. No rebound this time. Face-off coming in the River Falls zone. 17 minutes, 43 seconds remaining here first period. No score.
Good start for the Jackets. That first shot from Roosevelt handcuffed Boynton a bit. Almost turned into a great opportunity there for UWS to get an early goal.
Face-off will be to Boynton's left. 17:43 to go. Just getting it cranked up here at Westman Arena tonight. He is Jason Roan. I am John Garver. We're thrilled to have you along here on this final Friday in February. The shot from the left point by DeVornay gets blocked. Now the puck bouncing around the left circle. Falcons will take it back and come to center with it here on the left wing. Parker Corman with a long shot. That one's going to skip wide of the Yellow Jacket net, and Setter will send it back the other way quickly for Yermolnik. Alexei Yermolnik dumps it deep. Sam Brennan leading the forecheck here apparently. He picks it up, banks it off the side of the net. It comes right back up the slot, but River Falls gets there first, and Corman will dump it down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Skorpic out, leaving it behind the net for Axel. He'll push that one over to the left side for Setter, but it's broken up. Now it comes up to the blue line. The shot taken from the right point by Ian Carpenter gets blocked. Yellow Jackets Ishmael with it now. He'll flip it to neutral ice. Carpenter again for River Falls, dumping it back in. Right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Johnny Myers with it here. Myers up top for Carpenter. Now over to the left point. Foss, his shot blocked by Yermolnik. Comes right back to Foss on the left side. Now it's turned over, and Yermolnik will carry it back to center here. Alexei Yermolnik across the red line, gets it on the backhand and dumps it into the River Falls zone. Boynton out of his net. Passes it over for Ian Carpenter right side. Ahead at center, Myers. He deflects it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom will pick it up behind his net and come out the right side with it here. This is going to be Danziger. He'll cross the red line and flip it in. Bounces in on goal. Boynton the save. Rebound there for Shea, but River Falls able to get there and clear. Now Danziger inside his own line. His pass tipped over to the right side. Pedersen's got it now. Colin Pedersen gets it across the line. Falcons turn it over quickly and come back the other direction. Atwill on the left wing. He has nowhere to go. Jackets break it up. Staying with the play, Reed Loon. He'll dump it in. Now Atwill gives chase. Danziger at the long reach. Breaks up that play. Dauphiné up the right wing. Pedersen, he'll clear. Puck played to the red line, and it's going to be dumped right back in by Anthony Benares as it comes around behind the Yellow Jacket net. On the right wing, Pedersen to clear, not out. Second attempt by Danziger does come to neutral ice. River Falls fires that one back in. So River Falls answering the Yellow Jackets' early surge with a good stretch here in the offensive zone. Dauphiné on the left wing board gets run over, and that's going to be a penalty. River Falls is going to head to the sin bin. The Yellow Jackets are going to head to the power play.
Tyler Lee. Nope, check that.
Pazzarelli.
19, not 18. Pazzarelli getting the gate early here.
Time of that penalty, 4 minutes, 33 seconds of the first.
Dauphiné got inside position along the boards. And
did you see the signal?
I did not. It's either
call a boarding call.
Boarding or checking from behind.
I would assume boarding at any rate.
It was 100% in the numbers.
Yellow Jackets power play coming in at 15% on the season. This power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power, and it sees the Falcons control the face-off, and they carry it to the line and flip it into the Yellow Jackets zone. It is checking from behind, so that is the call on the ice. Yellow Jackets on the power play with Gavin Rasmussen to center. On the right wing, Rasmussen hit the brakes. Comes to the line. Brennan a long shot. Boynton makes the save. Pedersen tangling a little bit with Cole Teleke. Teleke has a hold of the horse collar there and wants to throw Pedersen to the ice, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. And I think the feistiness is definitely here in the first few minutes of this one.
And not surprising to see Teleke involved in that. He had the second most penalties in the WIAC this year, so he's definitely a player that is not afraid of playing with a little sandpaper out there.
I love when guys play with sandpaper, though. Minute 37 left in the Yellow Jacket power play. They win the draw. Brennan at the right point. Down the right board now for Riddle. Riddle, bottom of the right circle. Up top, Brennan takes the shot. That one gets through, and the save is made by Boynton. And then we're going to get a stoppage in play. What's the...
I have not seen a signal. I have no idea why the whistle blew this play dead.
Are they calling man in the crease? Or is he calling a penalty here? He's calling goalie interference on Colin Pedersen, I think. Okay. Interesting.
The indication was a combination of a slash and an interference signal, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing you're right. Probably goalie interference. At any rate, face-off coming in the defensive zone for the Yellow Jackets to the right of Jan Skorpek.
So the power play is gone after just 35 seconds. That's a percentage killer. And we'll be 4-on-4 here for the next minute 25, pending any further infractions on the ice. Lee for River Falls at the left point, slides it down low. It's picked up back there by Holmes. Holmes sends it ahead at center, trying to spring Dauphiné behind the D, but Alex Davis stepped in and broke that play up. Now Lee behind the River Falls net, watched by Roosevelt. Lee comes out the right side with it here. Passes that one over. Sidestepping the check in the neutral zone, Burke Simpson, but then he gets knocked down. Reed Loon picks up the loose puck on the left wing, then he'll back it up. That errant pass is going to come all the way down the ice.
Slashing was the official call there, by the way.
Okay, thank you very much. Davis on the left wing. Banks that one backward here. Through center, Myers across the Yellow Jacket line, leaves for Davis, left circle, a shot gets through, Skorpik makes the save. Then he gets upended by a River Falls player. The locals wanting a goalie interference penalty on that one, but that actually not a penalty. It'll just be a face-off coming in the neutral zone, I believe.
Ethan Lindahl skidding backwards into Skorpik there. He had a little help on his way into the crease, though.
That's why I'm kind of surprised they're going to have this face-off in the neutral zone.
Right. Both teams very happy to go hard to the net so far in the early going of this and try to create a little traffic around both of these starting goaltenders.
A little bit of housekeeping is going to be done in the goal crease behind Jan Skorpik. Second consecutive year these teams have met in the postseason. The Yellow Jackets had their season ended in the opening round last year down at Hunt Arena. The offensively challenged season coming to a close in a 1-0 loss, which was very appropriate. Yellow Jackets have been a much better offensive club this season, coming in with 85 goals. River Falls 89 to their credit. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, Bergstrom feeds ahead. Riddle comes off the left wing and dishes it for Danziger. Danziger has his path taken away on the right wing boards. River Falls coming back, but then Bergstrom poke checks. Falcons hold the zone and they drive it down low. Danziger picks it up and slides it ahead on the right wing. Riddle will tip that one in. Teleke gives chase. Backhands that one ahead for Lindahl, who tips it through neutral ice. Hunter Jones gave chase. Jackets break it up. Penalized player back on, so River Falls on the power play here. Francois works it to the front of the net. That's an interference penalty, and that's going to be a power. That'll do it for the River Falls power play. I can tell Steve Freeman doesn't like it, but Tyler Ryder was not allowed to even get anywhere near that loose puck.
Right, after Matt Francois gained the zone and threw the puck into space, Tyler Ryder was the only Jacket that had an opportunity to get to it, but he was blocked off and eventually knocked down by a pair of River Falls players. Never gave him the opportunity to play the puck, and that's the definition of interference.
6:43 the time. Cole Teleke, the guilty party. Interference the call. So it'll be 4-on-4 for 26 seconds before the Jackets will go to the power play for the second time. Dauphiné, stepping in to take the face-off. He'll do the honor with Burke Simpson. Dauphiné wins it clean. Holmes, right point. Pulls it to the slot. Up top for Ryder. Holmes, one-timer from the right circle. Whistles high and wide. Held in at the left point. Ryder down low. Roosevelt with a shifty move. Now a second one. Trying to get away from the check of Benares. Roosevelt uses the pick from Dauphiné to get behind the net, but then Davis knocks him off the play. And it's going to be cleared up the wing to neutral ice. Pedersen out of the penalty box. Yellow Jackets now on the power play for the second time. This power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Behind the River Falls net, Dauphiné lost it in his skates, but then picked up there by Stark. Up top, Holmes, right point, left point. Ryder walks, fires, save made by Boynton, rebound by Roosevelt. Is tipped in on the backhand, and Boynton will glove that and hold on as well. And we get a face-off coming here in River Falls territory with 1:16 left in the Yellow Jacket power play. 12:33 to go first period. No score.
Big Joey Foss putting a vicious hit on Dauphiné there along the half boards.
You could almost hear him go,
yeah.
Jackets control. Top of the left circle, Tyler Ryder tried to feed it into the slot, but that was blocked by Myers. Roosevelt taking Myers into the end boards. Clearing attempt comes right up to the line, and it's going to good hop there for the Falcons. It comes to neutral ice. Jackets will have to regroup. Across the line, Dauphiné, a rising shot over the top of the net, almost banked in off the back of the goaltender. Reed Stark came in there with the stick trying to bat it out of the air as well. I thought that was going to hit Boynton in the back.
If Stark would have hit it, it might have been a high stick, but the bounce off the back would have counted.
Now we get a stoppage in play again as Justin Dauphiné's face mask is stuck together with somebody from River Falls.
I have had that happen.
I have not. That is one thing I definitely did not have in my career.
And when it happened to me, we were both moving, and that's what made it really scary. Fortunately, we were both okay, and it appears that Dauphiné and the River Falls player is okay as well, as they've separated their headgear from each other and make their way back to the bench.
Both kind of skating off, chuckling, so everybody okay here with exactly 12 minutes to play in this first period. Face-off controlled here by River Falls. Brennan holds it in at the right point, carries down the boards now. Brennan pulls up at the hash marks, goes up top. Right point, Rasmussen. Left point, Devornay. 30 seconds left in the power play. Shot hits Riddle in the skate. And that's going to be cleared all the way down. I can't tell if Riddle knew it was coming or not, or if he was intentionally trying to direct it with the skate to somebody behind him. Brennan carries it up ice, dropping it off for Devornay in the neutral zone now. Frank Devornay all the way to the right wing board. Nowhere for him to go. He is able to get it down to the right corner. It's loose behind the Falcon goal. River Falls coming out with it here. It'll be passed ahead by Hunter Jones, taken now by Pazzarelli. He'll dump it in. Final seconds will tick off. Jackets 0 for 2 on the power play here in the early going. No score from Westman Arena. 11-11 to play here in this opening period. Make a wish, everybody, I guess, when the clock is at 11-11. Icing the call on the Jackets. Face-off coming back down in Yellow Jacket territory.
Riddle tried to tip that puck in the neutral zone, but he was a couple strides short of the center line. Hence the icing call.
Face-off will be to the right of Skorpic. Want to make sure we say hello to everybody at the American Legion in Greenwood Lake, New York. The Squire, making sure that everybody in the building is watching hockey tonight. So a special greeting to everybody out there. Pedersen up the left wing into the River Falls zone. Puck's loose behind the goal now. Pedersen tied up. Setter in there to help out. Teleke tying up Pedersen. Belisle pinning Setter to the board. Setter comes out with it up top. Right point, Axel in the middle now. Ryder takes the shot. That just goes wide. Karam comes to the left side of the net. Ishmael now feeds up top. Ryder at the left point. Tried to sell that down with the skate. Crazy hop off the wall. He's able to, but unfortunately it's in the neutral zone. Axel for the Yellow Jackets here. Up the right wing into the River Falls zone. Evan Axel fires, stick save. Boynton, big rebound as he tipped that one ahead at center. And the Falcons come up with Corman on the right wing across the line. He feeds it to the front of the Yellow Jacket net. Pass intercepted by Setter. And now back the other way, Tyler Ryder. Ryder sends it down into the River Falls zone, giving chase for the Falcons here, Ian Carpenter. He'll wrap that around to the left wing. Simpson clears the neutral. Jackets will dump it back in. Puck is behind the River Falls goal. Foss takes it there. Moved it to Carpenter, who threw it back behind the net for Foss as we've passed the 10-minute mark of period number 1. No score from Westman Arena. Shot 6-2, favoring the Yellow Jackets. On the left wing, it's Atwill tipping it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Bergstrom around up to the left wing. Roosevelt, nifty feet ahead for Dauphiné with a head of steam. Dauphiné left circle, a shot. Boynton makes the save. Rebound kicked along the end board, now behind the net. Dauphiné trying to get there. Stark picks it up, leaves it for Dauphiné, who wanted to give it back to Stark, but Benares stepped into that one, and he'll use the body to shield the puck and then clear it to neutral ice. On the right wing for the Yellow Jackets here, Danziger. He flips that down into River Falls territory. Benares greeted along the end board by Roosevelt. It's cleared back to neutral ice. Ryder steps up, carries up the middle, dumping it in. He gives chase. He gets there first. Taken into the boards by Benares before he could touch the puck, however. Falcons clear in the neutral zone. Blake Holmes lets that one go, and they're going to call a hand pass there, even though it's more of a hand tip. As Carson Riddle got up on his skates and tipped that one to neutral ice.
Credit to Daniel Roosevelt for the nice zone exit there. Deft little touch of the puck to Dauphiné, sent him on a good scoring rush, and Roosevelt paid the price. Got run over after making that pass, but took a hit to make the play.
If you're a Yellow Jacket fan looking for great team gear, visit the official Yellow Jacket Sideline store. Browse all the current styles of Yellow Jacket apparel and accessories, including the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear. Find the Yellow Jacket Sideline store at uwsyellowjackets.com/shop. You brought up an interesting statistic earlier this week, Jason, about the level of excellence, let's say, between Stevens Point and Eau Claire when it comes to dominating the WIAC semifinals.
It's remarkable.
The Yellow Jackets left the NCHA along with the rest of the UW schools before the 13-14 season, and in that time, the Yellow Jackets have won exactly 3 semifinal games. The interesting nugget about that is 2 of those came in that first year when they swept a series at River Falls. So they've had 1 semifinal win since then.
Wow.
You know, so it says a little bit, I think, about how good Eau Claire and Stevens Point have been compared to the rest of the conference in semifinal play. We'll see if playing on home ice will have a little bit of a different effect on the Yellow Jackets. Puck is down in River Falls territory as we're back to live action on the left wing. Riddle tried to throw that to the front of the net, no go there, and it's going to be flipped all the way back to neutral ice. Brennan throws that up the right wing looking for Logan Nickerson. That one's not going to connect. River Falls regaining control. Tyler Lee clears. It's going to go off of Gavin Rasmussen and come down into Yellow Jacket territory. Frank DeVornay pinned to the boards by Schmecknall. Now it's passed up the right wing. Intercepted. Gib Cody's got it there. Back down low for Belisle. Behind the net for Cody. Cody up to Foss, left point. Rising shot. That got deflected and went way over the glass and out of play.
The other interesting element about those playoff records is we talk all the time about how competitive the WIAC is, and how 1 through 4 for sure, it always seems like it's such a tight regular season race, yet there's such a discrepancy when it comes to the semifinals and beyond. It's interesting that it's so tight during the regular season, but there's quite a discrepancy in the playoffs.
And I think a big part of that too is traditionally it's been River Falls and Eau Claire at 1 and 2. They're always getting that week off. They're always playing at home, and those are tough buildings to play in. On the left wing, in the River Falls zone, Holmes for the Yellow Jackets goes behind the net, wraparound attempt right side, block, second attempt, shot save, third attempt, that stopped as well, as the Jackets get right at the top of the goal crease, but can't pound anything home. Cade Shea in the neutral zone, dumps it back in, goes back behind the River Falls net, and it's going to be flipped out to neutral ice there by Ian Carpenter. Holmes up the right wing, had to wait for Pedersen, or he had to wait to touch it before he came out of the zone. and it's going to be icing. I guess probably take the offside as opposed to the icing there?
Yeah, probably. He was getting to the point where he was in no man's land. That was the only passing lane open, and that clock starts going off in your head. And that's clearly what happened there. He just kind of threw it over there and hoped, and unfortunately Pettersson just couldn't quite get back across the line.
Loose puck in the left circle. Jackets take control here, and Evan Axel will flip that to center. It's going to split the D and come all the way down. And they're going to call icing on that. Oh, boy. I don't like that just because the D actually looked at each other.
Right.
And neither one went to play it.
Played it into an icing.
Mm-hmm. That's a skill, I guess, right?
True. Puck was also like 3 inches from hitting the goaltender's skate as well. That was a close one.
It actually goes off the post on the outside of the net, but unfortunately that still is icing.
Right.
Holmes for the Yellow Jackets throws it rink wide to the right wing. Ishmael crosses the red line and dumps it hard into the River Falls zone. It comes around the boards. Benares to clear it. Hops over the stick of the onrushing Blake Setter. Johnny Myers with speed the other way. Backhand in on goal, and the save is made by Skorpic. Rebound picked up by Ishmael and cleared ahead. Yarmolnik tips it into the River Falls zone, but not quite deep enough, and Benares will come back to center. Up the right wing, he crosses the red and dumps it in, sticked away by Skorpic. Bergstrom mishandles the puck, then gets run into the end boards. In to help out Ishmael. He works it free, Bergstrom did. Ishmael tips it behind. Taken from behind the goal now by Danziger. Over to the left wing boards for Ishmael. He comes across the River Falls line, feeds it for Setter. Setter out front for Yarmolnik, who tipped it, but he was tied up on the play, and the deflection ends up in the corner.
Yarmolnik got himself in really good body position there for that tip.
Setter takes a shot from the high side on the left wing. That's going to get blocked. Jackets in neutral ice now. Bergstrom sends it in. Broken up there. Falcons clear. Blake Holmes goes to clear it out of his own zone. It's intercepted. Burke Simpson knocks it down. Loon on the left wing. His pass is going to carry him back to neutral ice. Cole Teleki backs it up. Gives to Lee. Now back to Teleki here as we've passed the 14-minute mark of this opening period. Yellow Jackets and River Falls scoreless. Holmes high off the right wing glass. Tipped ahead by Stark. Stark now sends it to the right corner. Roosevelt comes out of the corner with the puck. He's tied up along the boards. In to help out, River Falls. Simpson gets it, and he's going to clear. That's going to come all the way down. And Ryder wins the race ahead of Reed Loon. It's icing on River Falls, and the face-off coming back down here in Falcon territory. Former Yellow Jacket captain Steve Ellsmore in the house. Good to see Woody.
Good crowd here tonight at Westman. Nice to see fans turning out to watch this WIAC semifinal action.
It's been a long time since we've been able to see crowds like this. It's fun for the players too. I know they remarked about 2 weeks ago the enjoyment that they had with seeing the stands fuller than normal. Falcons win the draw and clear. Everybody heads to the bench. Jackets move it ahead to the right side. Roosevelt, he's pinned to the boards and can't get free. Dauphiné in there to help out. Puck comes up to the line. Now played ahead on the right side by Roosevelt, giving chase Foss. Dauphiné there as well. Carpenter's got it for River Falls. He's being forced to play it back behind the net. On the forecheck there by Dauphiné. Foss from behind the net passes that up the middle. Puck comes back and they wave off the offside. Okay. Pettersson on the right wing knocks it down, and now we get a stoppage in play. And then a little bit of a late hit as Matt Francois gets flattened. Referee Travis Ahlberg skating in and giving the, all right, let's just everybody settle this down a little bit here. I'm not going to put up with this tonight.
Colin Pettersson's been getting abused all over the ice through the first 15 minutes of this game, and he finally got an opportunity to turn the tables there and absolutely lit up Joey Foss, and everything just kind of kept brewing from there.
Faceoff comes out to the neutral zone. I'm still not entirely sure what that stoppage was for.
I don't know.
Francois wins the faceoff. The puck's loose at neutral ice, however, and the Falcons will get it and dump it in. Picked up on the left side. Devornay clears to neutral. It's going to be driven back down into Yellow Jacket territory. Comes around behind the goal. Tipped ahead by Brennan. Pettersson clears. It's trying to dump it in Belisle, but it's knocked down by Francois. At the Yellow Jacket blue line, Brennan's got it here. 4.5 to play first period. Scoreless Westman Arena Superior. Pettersson up the right wing. Throws it behind the net. It rides the board around to the left side. Gets past Frank DeVorney. Whoa, a lot of Yellow Jackets on the ice there for a couple seconds. They dodge the bullet as Axel dumps it into River Falls territory.
Fortunately, the puck was 40 feet away from most of them.
Puck dumped back down into the River Falls zone. Nickerson giving chase. Alex Davis gets away from him. It's played back behind the net to the right corner. Nickerson giving chase. Davis gets there first again. Nickerson with an awkward fall after finishing his check, and River Falls Bonera is back the other way. His pass ahead goes off the stick of Rasmussen. Scooped up behind the goal here by Axel. He sends to the left wing side. Ryder to clear, not out. Comes into the high slot and taking off with it here, Nickerson. Nickerson for the Jackets, gets the line, dumps it in. Line change in progress with 3.5 minutes to go in the first period. Yellow Jackets and Falcons scoreless. Behind the net now, coming out with it is Teleke for River Falls. He plays it off the left wing boards. Danziger breaks that up at neutral ice. Falcons get it back. Tyler Lee passes that ahead at center. Bergstrom breaks it up. On the left wing, Setter tips it in. Falcons send it right back out. Ahead at center across the line, Simpson throws that rink wide. Jackets break it up. On the right wing now, Ishmael couldn't handle the pass from Yarmolnik, and River Falls will regain control and have numbers back the other way. At center across the Yellow Jacket line. Reed Loon on the right wing, but Bergstrom knocks him off the play. Bergstrom with the puck now, wanted to move it ahead. It goes off a skate. Karams to the right wing boards, and Yarmolnik tried to chop that in, but it doesn't go. Bouncing puck at center. Controlled here by River Falls. Atwill across the line. Left wing a shot. Gloved by Skorpik. He's going to hang on. And we'll get a face-off with 2:36 remaining here in period number one. Coming up during our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, we will check in with our Eastern correspondent, Mr. Chris Sugar from D3HockeyNews.com. That'll be coming up 2 minutes, 36 seconds and change from now. Face off to Skorpik's right, or left, yeah, it's right. Rights and lefts are hard. Behind the net, Ryder passes it up the right wing boards. Roosevelt knocked down, the puck stays in the zone. Bouncing puck to the left of the net, Hunter Jones has it there. Good check by Blake Holmes as he knocks down a Falcon in the left corner. Shot from the right point blocked. Puck bouncing around at the top of the circle. Play to the right corner now. Jones passes behind the net. Holmes going after it. Shmeknov wraps him up literally. Holmes tried to pass, it was blocked. He gets it back. Blake Holmes now for the Jackets, sends it ahead on the left wing for Stark. Stark across the line, feathers it to the front of the net, but nobody in a yellow sweater actually drove the net there. Not a lot Stark can do. They didn't give him any options. And that's going to be a penalty on River Falls as Tyler Ryder got absolutely crushed by Hunter Jones, who was coming off the ice after being hurt, frustrated apparently, and it's going to be a power play for the Yellow Jackets.
Ryder was doing the same for the Yellow Jackets, just trying to head to the bench there to get a line change.
.18:07 the time of that penalty. I imagine interference?
I would think so.
Captain Gavin Rasmussen on the ice talking with referee Sean Hauser going, dude, check from behind, that's 2 tonight. At any rate, it looks like it's going to be just an interference minor. Yellow Jackets on the power play for the third time. The power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Falcons win the draw, however, and they will clear it out to center ice. In the neutral zone, Rasmussen ahead for Riddle on the left wing. Riddle hits the brakes at the hash marks, tries to go up to the line. It's intercepted and played back out to neutral ice. Jackets on the back check, able to break up a rush. Otherwise, the Falcons would have had numbers the other direction. Riddle at center. Comes across the Falcon line on the left wing. Carson Riddle down to the corner. Out front for Pettersson driving the net. And that one just goes off a stick and back the other way. River Falls shorthanded. Johnny Myers will milk it for a little while before firing it down into the Yellow Jacket zone. And what do we have now?
The River Falls goal is off the pegs.
Ah, got it.
They tried to fix it themselves, but couldn't quite get it.
Happens that way sometimes, and wonder if they're going to have to do some landscaping down there. Doesn't look like it.
Looks like the face-off will come at center ice as a result of that whistle.
Works out okay for the Yellow Jackets, I guess, because they advance the puck, at least in the neutral zone.
Oh, not going to be at center ice.
No, they're putting it on the Yellow Jacket side of center. Coach McKenna going, hey, wait. That's not how this works, but I thought for sure it would have been a center ice faceoff.
Right.
You're still 100 feet further than you would have been, so I guess you got that going for you. At any rate, back to live action here. Holmes in the neutral zone, drops it for Ryder. Now ahead on the left wing, Stark. Stark ducks underneath the check, losing the puck. Following the play, Dauphiné sends it down low. It comes around to the right wing side. Falcons intercept, and it'll be cleared by Loon. He gets it ahead to center, and Burke Simpson dumps it back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Less than a minute to go here now in period number 1. As bringing it up ice is Tyler Ryder. Over to the right wing boards. Holmes comes across the Falcon line. Pulls up right, hash mark. Up to the right point, Ryder walks it off the boards. Roosevelt now in the left circle. Curls back to the hash. Roosevelt, left wing half board. Up top, left point, Ryder. Back to Roosevelt, left circle. Fires, and the save made by Boynton. Rebound pops up in the air. At the left point now, Ryder tried to carry down the boards, but a good play by Johnny Myers to take the skating lane away. At the right point, Holmes fires. That catches traffic in front again. And Johnny Myers will take that carom and send it all the way down the ice. Skorpic leaving it behind the net. Brennan picks it up. Brennan comes up ice here, feeds it ahead for Holmes on the left wing across the Falcon line. Holmes tried to feed it for Rasmussen. Dauphiné left corner out front. That's blocked, and the horn will sound, bringing the first period to a conclusion. Good opening 20 minutes here at Westman Arena. Really good pace for the most part, Jason. Jackets with some power play opportunities, and I'm just hating that you've had 3 now, and you're about to go 0 for 3. I don't want this to be the thing that bites them.
A bit of a familiar refrain this season where the Yellow Jackets have had some opportunities on the power play and not able to cash in. Aside from that, a really solid period for UWS, outshooting River Falls 11-5 and generating some good offense and also playing some excellent defense in their own end.
0-0 Yellow Jackets River Falls after 1. That's what I was trying to say. We'll take a timeout, and we'll come back with our first intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. We'll catch up with Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network.
It's our first intermission, and as always, the first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, and it's been a little bit for us here since we've checked in with our friend Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News, and so I wanted to catch up with him as we go into the semifinal round of the WIAC playoffs here this weekend, and playoff hockey in the Division III world in full swing, sir. So talk to me a little bit about what have we seen so far?
Well, it's always good to chat again. Happy to be on. I was unfortunately reminded. I forgot that the WIAC is the only league that will play the mini game through the semifinal round. So I thought we'd get potential mini games with a Norbert and Trine and Adrian and Aurora, but I was unfortunately notified that is not the case. So other than that, I mean, we already saw kind of a near upset with Endicott and Wentworth. I mean, granted, Endicott hasn't really been burning it up, but regardless, they're ranked at the moment. You know, they had one of the most unique plays, I think, of the playoffs, that the controversial. They were on a delayed penalty, took a slap shot, deflected off the Wentworth skate, and went all the way down into the net to give Wentworth a 2-1 lead with, you know, little time left. But Endicott pulled it out. But it's only been, you know, a couple games, and we've seen something like that. So I'm sure we're in for a treat otherwise.
There was a mild upset in the MIAC as the 5 beat the 4, so that was kind of the first one there that kind of had us in the West taking a little bit of a look, but everything unfolding thus far in the WIAC as we expected. And before we jump out East and talk a little bit here, let's talk a West. And the number 1 team in the country on the women's side is UW River Falls, and our women's program is heading down there this weekend for 2, and they're walking into a buzzsaw right now because the number 1 team in the nation has things humming pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, going back, you know, quick to your comment about the MIAC, I've always kind of compared it to the Big 12 of college football. Like, you're not really shocked about anything in terms of who wins it. You know, like Concordia, Minnesota could go win the league, and you're not really, you know, you say obviously like you didn't expect that, but you know, Olaf, how many times have they won when they're below 500 and then they're, you know, in the tournament now, and it just seems like that's the most unpredictable. Like Gustavus, new coach, you know, they get the 1 seed after having a pretty bad year. So, you know, just kind of a mention on that, how that to me is like one of the most fun conferences because you're not shocked really by much that happens there.
Right.
You know, yeah, with the Superior women's team, you know, going to River Falls, Rivers, I don't want to say they're humming good, but it's one of those where there isn't the auto bid. You know, they might be ranked 1 in both of the polls, and stats wise, it looks like they should be 1. But you know, if they lose any games, really, I mean, even if they lost, say they get by Superior, and say Eau Claire advances and they lose to Eau Claire, their season's probably done. So it's one of those where, you know, I think it happened. You know, got to see them in person, obviously, and they were quite impressive mostly in the second period, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if they can get the goaltending figured out, I would say they should be the favorite.
Yeah, because I'm looking at scores here, and they're putting up 6 to 9 goals with regularity right now. I mean, they hung 9 on UW Eau Claire, the 2 seed in the WIAC here in the last couple of weeks. So they've really got things figured out on that end. But it is kind of crazy to think that a team that's ranked number 1 could very well be on the outside looking in if they drop 1 single game the rest of the way. And that's the whole thing about that MPI ranking. That it takes the subjectivity out of it, and if you know, it's all math. You know, and if you're not in that number, you're going to be left out.
Yeah, I mean, the math, it's the men's side. I think on both sides, it's better than pairwise. I do. I think there still needs to be improvements. I mean, I don't think it's perfect by any means, but, you know, I think out east, especially with a certain crowd, say like a Hobart, when you say, well, you're kind of glad to see them not be 1. You know, it's not me saying that they can't win 3 in a row, that they're not. Heck, for all we know, they are the best team. I don't know, but they've played strength of schedule wise. They've played nobody. I mean, they're in the 60s. Like it's, you know, you're in the bottom quarter of strength of schedule. And it's like, you know, you had the best conference last year. Now you've got one, not the worst, but you've got one of the worst statistically. So that's the kind of thing that happens. You know, Curry and Aurora, they've played in much tougher games. They've played much tougher teams stats wise. So I don't hate that, but yeah, seeing River on the outside in, it kind of sucks just because, you know, with especially too, like a Gustavus, you know, they're 20-5. They've played a good schedule. I mean, and it just seems like, you know, some of those teams in particular at the top, they don't really move no matter what happens. And yeah, it's something that, you know, the math can show one thing, but if the math can do whatever you'd like depending what numbers you put into it.
Let's flip over to the men's side here now. And again, talking about the NPI and looking at, we've had plenty of people in our community here go, well, if they get to next weekend and lose that championship game, they're still going to get in, right? And I'm going, no, I think they have to win to get in, sitting at number 14 there. And it's that strength of schedule thing again, where we're sitting there in that lower quarter, like you talked about. So, it's a little more interest in our area because our people are looking at this going, boy, you mean to tell me that the season they had and only 4 losses coming into the semifinal, they might not get in? I'm like, no, I'm telling you, if they do not win, they're not going to get in.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I think that it shows the lack of the crossover play, which isn't their fault. I mean, they even went East. It was just unfortunate. It was a weak tournament. I mean, to be blunt about it, I mean, it was. But, at the time it looked okay. Fitchburg State, you never really know. But regardless, Fitchburg could win 20 games. They're still not going to be worth much on your strength of schedule just because of who they play.
Right.
So, looking at, with the MPI, I'm kind of surprised that Stevens Point is at 9. So much higher than Superior, considering the strength of schedule is only 7 points higher. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that does surprise me a little bit. But with those two, I think with the seasons they've had, both of them should probably have to win to get in, considering what's above them and what they've done. So I don't have a problem with either team necessarily needing to win to get in. I'm just kind of surprised that Superior is that far behind in terms of 9 to 14. But yeah, it's I think the biggest thing that might hurt the strength of schedule is no offense to Northland, but if you take Northland out of that league, your strength of schedules are probably in the 40s, maybe even like lower 30s, just because you don't have a 1-21 or whatever it ended up being team in there. So I think that's all kind of the subjectivity of it. If you take that one team out of it, you probably don't have that bad of a schedule, according to the NPI.
How good is the top of the NCHA?
It's quite good, I would say. I think Aurora. It's weird. You're just not used to seeing that name up there. And, after they had really beat Point bad earlier in the year, well, for opening weekend of the year, you kind of think like, all right, well, Point lost a lot of defensemen. You didn't really know. Tough goaltending weekend. Aurора's got an offense, but you didn't really know just being so early. And then, they just started rattling off wins. And then, the big kind of awakening was when they swept Adrian. That was the real kind of shocker, I think. And then Norbert goes and sweeps Aurora, and it's like, all right, well, are they back to earth or what? And then they just keep winning, and they're really only, Band-Aids on the schedule was St. Norbert, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I think those two, I still like Norbert to win the NCHA. I do. I think Adrian needs to be more concerned about playing hockey and not what happens after the whistle. Or if things don't go their way, just based off of what I got to see with them versus Norbert. I mean, they played a great first period in both games. They played great. And then they just get very, they just start doing, to be quite blunt, just stupid things. And then it cost them against a team like that. And it will against any of those teams in the top, say 7 to 9, 10. But no, and then Shrine, I think they're playing for their weekend. So it's weird that, if Trine beats Norbert's probably out. That league, it looked like they were going to get a lot of bids. And now if certain teams win, they might only end up with, the 2 and yeah. He's be right there with him.
Real quick here, the D3 broadcasters bracket coming out, and it starts on Monday. What does Garver have to do to stuff the ballot box and move forward in this thing?
Well, this does go overnight, so you could always, add some votes. You do have the 1 to 5 a.m. if you need to add some votes in there. But other than that, typically you've got people doing it for at least, 2, 3, 4 years as students, and then maybe afterward. And then you have more of those longtime guys, like say and then over at Point, even Aurora, they have, Bill's been there for a while, Dom Dandra or Dandrea, however you say it, at Hamlin. St. Catherine's, that's another long time one. So, and then now Gustavus, Jordan's been doing it for a bit. So it's easier to fill up in that regard, which, some people, it amazes me how some people can look at the bracket and they say, oh, well, why are we not in there? Why is my team, or why, broadcasters say, why am I not in it? And it's like, well, with all due respect, the sign-up form has been there. You noticed that you're not in it within 20 seconds of the bracket being released. So it's hard for me to believe that you saw the bracket within 20 seconds, but you didn't see the sign-up form for like a week or two. But with that being said, I am looking forward to it, but you have kind of your repeated faces in there. And some that aren't, like Ray, for example, isn't in it, not because he didn't want to. It's just he said, I want, knowing how much social media influence Utica has, and just with him, he said, I want somebody else to be able to, win it, because he's likely, and it's not arrogance, he would probably be in the final, depending, with how he'd go with the social media. So he said he wanted somebody else to be able to, and he got his win. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a fun year.
Always a fun deal that you put together there, and I know it's just one of those things. But the D3 broadcasters, they don't usually get a lot of attention, and this is just one of those things that helps call it out. So appreciate that. Appreciate all you do for Division III hockey, and it's heating up, man. I hope we get a chance to catch up again next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. Hey, maybe like I said before, if you and Point advance, I'll be on both. Maybe I'll be on both intermissions. I don't know. We'll see. I love it. I was joking with those two about that. I said, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a concurrent talk, but who knows?
We could do it all at once. You can record the podcast. We'll do intermission stuff. It'll be a crossover event.
Exactly. It'd be quite the thing. And maybe in a couple of years, I'll be in the booth with you if I'm out there. So
that sounds awesome, man. All right. Take care. Appreciate your time today.
You as well.
We're going to
That's Chris Sugar from D3 Hockey News, and giving him a little bit of a hard time about that bracket, because first year I got knocked out in the first round by the eventual champion. Second year I got knocked out in the first round by the eventual champion. Last year I made it to the second round, so woohoo! And then got knocked out by Adrian. What do I have to do? Voting, I believe, starts Monday. I'm squaring off against the broadcaster from Southern New Hampshire University.
Maybe you need a better analyst.
Get your stuff together, man. At any rate, both teams back on the ice for the start of period number 2. Yellow Jackets will be going right to left here in this second period, starting with 7 seconds of power play time. It'll take a miracle for them to score on the power play here. They win the faceoff, however. It's played ahead by Danziger. Final seconds will tick off the clock. Yellow Jackets now 0 for 3 on the power play, but they have the puck in the offensive zone. Check that, had the puck in the offensive zone. Johnny Myers goes to clear and puts that one up into the Yellow Jacket bench. So quickly going back to the bracket that starts Monday, and they put it all out on Twitter and Instagram. That's how you vote, and all the broadcasters but the schools will post a clip, and you watch the clip, you listen to the broadcaster, vote for whoever you like. So it's a really cool thing that he started a few years back, and just a lot of fun for us D3 guys, because like I said in the interview, we don't get a lot of attention at the D3 level, so it's fun to have something like that can show the masses that what we've got, because there's some pretty skilled broadcasters in D3. Behind the River Falls net, it's going to be cleared up to the line, held on the left side. Bergstrom now down low. Stark turns and fires, and a stick save made by Boynton. Behind the net, Dauphiné has it now. Dauphiné off the end boards, works it out front, the shot. Boynton makes a pad save. Now Roosevelt right corner, passes it behind the net. Dauphiné has it out front. Stark a one-timer. He didn't get everything on that, and Boynton stops that as well. Now Teleki has it for River Falls. He flips to neutral ice, knocked down by Bergstrom. Ahead for Roosevelt. Roosevelt now on the left wing, gets stepped into nicely there by the Falcons, and it's going to be forced to play back down low in River Falls territory. Tyler Lee picking it up here. Over now for Teleki. This defense pair has been on for over a minute for the Falcons. They finally are able to get a line change here. Picking it up behind the net for the Jackets here. This is Tyler Ryder. He'll flip that to neutral. He's going to come down in Falcon territory. Bouncing puck gets past the defenseman. Nickerson's going to pick it up. Nickerson works it out front. A shot, and the save is made by Boynton right on the doorstep for Logan Nickerson. In the left corner. River Falls territory now. Reed Loon has the puck. Ryder all over him. Nickerson in there battling for it as well. Riddle pokes it out of the pile. It comes to the front of the net, and River Falls will get it there with Atwill sending it over to the right wing boards. Falcons dump it in. Blake Holmes behind his net, leaves it for Ryder, wraps it quickly up the left side out of the reach of Nickerson. Held in at the right point, Benares. Now the Jackets will get it back and come to center with Carson Riddle. Riddle across the red. He'll backhand that to the left wing corner. Jackets will trigger a line change with that dump in. River Falls will quickly come back the other way. Burke Simpson at center. Simpson across the line to Loon. Now over for Atwill on the left. Up top, Davis, a shot, it gets through, and a pad save made by Skorpic. Puck comes back up to Davis. His pass is tipped, and the Yellow Jackets taking off back the other way, Rasmussen. That had potential to be really good, but he couldn't settle that puck down. Now Holmes leads the rush. He gets around the knee, gets hauled down as he drives the net. And it's going to be a power play for the Yellow Jackets here as Blake Holmes stepped into that pass and found another gear going up the right wing.
Yeah, great power move there to turn the corner, force the defender to haul him down. Still managed to get the puck on goal. Now the Jackets will go to the power play once again.
2:30 of the second period, the time of the penalty. Cross-checking on Alex Davis. Fourth power play already for the Yellow Jackets, and they are unfortunately 0 for 3. Let's hope they can capitalize here. At some point, the power play, we've talked about it ad nauseum this year. At some point, this power play has to step up and get it done. Jackets controlling the faceoff. Brennan at the right point, feeds Rasmussen now left circle. He's got a lane, takes the shot, it catches a leg in front. Johnny Myers now plays that one ahead, and it comes to center. Across the Yellow Jacket line, a long shot by Ethan Lindahl goes over the top of the goal. Riddle plays it for Brennan. Brennan now across the River Falls line, gives to Ishmael on the left wing, over to the right side. Rasmussen on the half boards. Banks it off the wall, right point Riddle, left point Brennan. Brennan stick handles, saucers it across to the right point Rasmussen. He switches places with Brennan. Rasmussen carries down the left side. Rasmussen left corner, Rasmussen behind the net. Now up the right side, Ishmael. Back to Rasmussen, top of the right circle. He carries to the left circle, gets a lane, fires and misses high on the glove side. He had that one measured. On the right circle now, it's Brennan over to the left circle, the one-timer, Rasmussen, and a big save by Boynton. And it's going to be cleared back out into the neutral zone now. On the left wing boards, Brennan, he drives that hard into River Falls territory. Boynton out of the goal, wraps that around the left side. Lindahl is going to be able to clear that one out to the neutral zone. Yellow Jackets are going to have to tag up, and they just gave the puck right back to River Falls there. I don't understand that play by Brennan. And the Falcons will send it all the way down.
That was odd. Ryder was calling for him to give him the puck so they could maintain possession, and he just didn't know he was there.
Ryder at center to the left wing. That's out of the reach of Stark, and comes all the way down, and it's icing. 28 seconds left in the Yellow Jacket power play. 15:57 to go here in period number 2. No score. But, Gavin Rasmussen had the first goal of the game on his tape.
Yeah, twice. A pair of good looks in that sequence there for UWS. Just missed on one and a great save on the other.
Face-off will be to the left of Jan Skorpic. Taken here by the Yellow Jackets. Roosevelt starts up the right wing with it. He gets across the red, goes to dump it in, hits the linesman. And it's going to be played back to neutral ice. Jackets forced to regroup. Good job by Hunter Jones to force Ryder all the way back behind his net, and the Jackets will go 200 feet. Carrying it through now, Ryder across the line, takes the shot, he misses high. On the left wing, Dauphiné drives it deep, it comes behind the net. The penalty has expired, so Jackets now 0 for 4 on the man advantage, but that was definitely the best advantage of the game so far. Up the right wing across the Yellow Jacket line. Corman takes a shot that goes wide. It caroms off the boards. Jackets to center. This is Stark. Right circle. Gets it across for Dauphiné. Oh, what a save by Boynton. How in the world did he stop that one? Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets here. At center now across the line. 3-on-1 River Falls. They score. Oh. I don't know how in the world Boynton made that initial save on Dauphiné and then back the other way. The Jackets got caught in the numbers game, and it ends up being a River Falls goal, and they lead 1-0.
Wild sequence here. Save of the year by Boynton. And then going the other way, Yarmolnik jumped over the boards for the Yellow Jackets and was the only player who had a chance to come back and support on defense. He came over the boards, ran into the official. Both Yarmolnik and the official went down, and that left UWS with only one player back. And then River Falls was able to take advantage of that situation and score.
Ian Carpenter will get the goal for River Falls, his first. Time of the goal, 4:58. Unfortunate circumstance there for the Yellow Jackets, and they find themselves behind here in the early stages of this second period. Puck in the Yellow Jacket zone right now.
25, Ian Carpenter. Carpenter unassisted, that goal coming at.
So it's an unassisted goal for Carpenter. Jackets up the right side now. Yarmolnik tried to throw that to the front of the net, and it's deflected. That will go over the glass and out of play. 14:40 to go here, first period, 1-0. River Falls in front. Going back to the play, though, a great pass from Stark to Dauphiné in front, and a nifty move to pull it to the backhand. Unfortunately, I don't know how Boynton stopped that. His entire body was going one way, all of his momentum that direction.
Incredible flexibility. That was just a great save.
Shot from the right side by Evan Axel, catching some traffic in front. Falcons behind their net now. Loon plays that ahead to center, banks it off the boards right on goal. Skorpic now feeds to the left side for Dvorny. His pass is going to miss everybody and come all the way down. Tyler Lee behind his net, pressured by Ishmael, also by Setter. Setter lifts up the stick. Setter in the right wing corner rather, gets it to Yarmolnik. He tries to go up to the blue line. That's knocked down. Falcons back the other way. Simpson leading the rush. Simpson across the line. Has that one broken up. Jackets Yarmolnik sends that ahead out of the reach of Ishmael. Falcons at neutral ice will flip it back in. I don't know what's going on in Stevens Point, but Eau Claire has a 3-0 lead right now.
Wow.
Puck is going to hop over the stick of Davis at the left point and come all the way back down. Jackets in the midst of a change. Falcons quickly back on the attack. Dylan Smith. Shot from the right wing. The save is made there by Skorpic. He deflects that over the glass and out of play.
Jackets keep extending this lead in shots on goal, 19-7, so they're creating some chances and began this period with some great looks. That trademark down low grinding got them some great opportunities. Just haven't been able to capitalize so far.
2:45:04 was the shutout streak for Jan Skorpic that got snapped with that goal by River Falls. They come back on the attack again, 3-on-2 across the line. Smith, right circle, fires. Oh, and a save made there by Skorpic. It got the leg and went right through the goal crease. And that's twice now they've gone 5-hole on him, Jason. Behind the net. Danziger wraps it around the left side. It comes up to the line. Played back down the boards, trying to saucer it into the slot with Smith. Jackets break it up, and it's cleared back to center. Jackets on their heels a tad here right now as River Falls has kind of seized momentum, and they lead this thing 1-0. Puck inside the Yellow Jacket line, and we're going to get a stoppage in play here as a player lost the bucket. And that's an immediate stoppage in play. They don't even give you the opportunity to skate off the ice anymore once you lose the headgear.
Added to the array of equipment on the ice, one of the UWS players had lost his stick, so that was laying on the other blue line. Now we'll have a reset at center ice.
Gavin Rasmussen in to take the face-off here. 13:04 to go, second period. 1-0 River Falls.
Wow.
Puck dumped into the Yellow Jacket zone. It comes around behind the net. On the left wing boards, Ryder into the middle now. It's taken by Rasmussen. Across the River Falls line, dishes right wing Nickerson, a shot save. Boynton, big rebound. Held in at the left point by Ryder. It comes behind the net now. Rasmussen upended as he was going after the puck. Riddle in the right wing corner tied up. Puck along the boards now. In the corner, Riddle plays it behind the goal. Carpenter has it there for River Falls. He's the goal scorer in this one so far, and he plays it ahead 3-on-2 across the Yellow Jacket line. Schmechnov drops it off, a shot, Skorpic the save. Then Schmechnov getting in a little bit too tight. The Yellow Jackets don't like it, and we're going to get a face-off coming up here in the Yellow Jacket zone.
Another shot toward the 5-hole there. That one was a bit elevated, so I think it got him more in the belly. You are correct. River Falls seems to be trying to probe that 5-hole. The goal went through there, and that second shot went through, but Skorpic was able to get a heel on it and knock it just wide.
Intentionally or not.
Right.
Shots currently 20-9 favoring the Yellow Jackets, but they trail 1-0, 12:23 to go, second period. 3 consecutive games now that the Yellow Jackets have fallen behind. At center now, this is Roosevelt up the right wing with speed, cuts it to the middle. He gets taken down. Dauphiné, a shot, and that's going to miss wide. Penalty coming on River Falls. Jackets are going to go back to the power play as Daniel Roosevelt from the right wing cut her to the middle, and they took the feet out. And hopefully the power play can answer.
Dauphiné a little frustrated there as he had a great look on that loose puck. Tripping will be the call.
Teleki to the box again. His second appearance in the sin bin tonight. 5th power play for the Yellow Jackets. Power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Ishmael, Rasmussen, Pedersen, Riddle, and Brennan on the ice here. Jackets controlling it. Brennan walks, fires. He's going to miss the net high. It comes back up to the left point. Brennan's got it. Brennan now gets away from the checker. Lindahl passes it behind the net. Pedersen has it here. Colin Pedersen, left circle. Rising shot, he scores! Power play goal for Colin Pedersen, and we're tied!
Quick release there from Colin Pedersen. Looked like he snuck it in short side high. Great shot to even this thing up and get the Jackets on the board and on the board with their power play.
Pedersen, his 6th at 8:06, and the Yellow Jackets have tied it up as he went high, short side, came out of the corner, wired it up top. I'm assuming Brennan will get one of the assists.
He had basically a coffee can to shoot it into, and that's what he did.
Not the big coffee can.
No,
either.
little one.
For Yellow Jackets, his 6th goal of the season and 9th of his career, number 16, Colin Pedersen. He got an assist on the goal from number 4, Sam Brennan. Pedersen.
So Pedersen from Brennan. Jackets now 3-on-2 to center. Up the right wing, it's Dauphiné. Right circle, throws it toward the net. It's deflected by the defense. Comes over to the left wing boards. River Falls will pick it up there and come back to center. Across the Yellow Jacket line, a long shot. Skorpic's going to glove that and hold on. And we're going to get a face-off coming up here in Yellow Jacket territory. 11:11 remaining here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Falcons tied 1-1. 6 aces on the scoreboard for you scoreboard poker aficionados. Used to be a fun game. We used to give away pizza when we play scoreboard poker.
Yeah.
It was great. Johnny Myers for River Falls on the left wing. Rifles it down low. Bergstrom intercepts. Plays it on the backhand out to center. It's going to come into the River Falls zone. Icing waved off as Lee catches up to it. And then his clearing attempt goes off of the skate of the referee, I believe, and up into the Yellow Jacket bench. You never know what kind of reflexes that coaches still have until you see a puck go up into the bench, you know?
Yeah, Mouse doesn't look too thrilled over there right now.
McKenna's laughing at him. Put that in your notes for the post-game interview. River Falls clears it to the neutral zone, taken there by Bergstrom over to the right wing and hops the stick of Francois. Jackets get it back on the left wing this time, and Cade Shea dumps it into Falcon territory. Boynton out of the goal. Comes around the left wing. Myers clears. Bergstrom and Dylan Smith go after it. Dylan Smith using the body to knock Bergstrom off the puck, but they got in a little too tight to the goal. Bergstrom's pass goes off the face of Cade Shea. Drops it down for Danziger. Matthew Danziger has it poked off his stick, and it's a big turnover as the Falcons back the other way. Lindahl from the right circle fires high. Does the Jackets a favor there as the carom comes to Nickerson on the right wing. He clears. It hops over the stick of Cade Shea at neutral ice, and there's the stoppage and another penalty coming on River Falls. I didn't see this one at all, Jason, so this was behind the play.
I didn't either, and I don't recognize the signal that the official is giving at the moment.
Pushing.
Yeah.
Ethan Lindahl is arguing the case, but I have no idea what that what that pushing penalty is all about, but we'll take it here. 9:54 the time. 6th power play already for the Yellow Jackets here tonight.
Both of us waiting with bated breath to see what this penalty is actually described in the play-by-play here. There it is.
Hitting from behind.
Hitting from behind. All right.
I did not see it. I was following the playback the other way because this was behind the play. At any rate, 6th power play of the game for the Jackets, sponsored by Superior Waterline Power. Brennan, right point. Over to the right circle, Ishmael. Up top, Brennan. Left point now, Rasmussen. He walks to the circle, takes the shot, tipped in front, and Boynton makes the save with the headgear. And then the rebound picked up and cleared all the way down by Burke Simpson.
Great chance for the Jackets there. Riddle almost with the tip in.
Now at center for the Jackets here, Brennan dropping it off. Ishmael's got it now. Ishmael, his pass knocked out of the air. And it comes all the way back down as Hunter Jones showing some good hand-eye coordination there. Brennan again. Dropping it off. Gavin Rasmussen at center, crosses the red, comes into the Falcon zone, gives to Riddle left wing up top. Ishmael now. Defenders close on him, so he gives it up to the right point. Brennan. Down low, right corner, Rasmussen. Behind the net, Roosevelt has it here. Minute to go on the power play. Rasmussen up to the left point. Ishmael carries down to the circle, takes the shot. Glove save, Boynton. He'll hold on to it. Face-off coming in River Falls territory. 55 seconds remaining here in this Yellow Jacket power play. Their 6th of the night. 9:03 to play in this second period. Yellow Jackets and Falcons tied 1-1. I always get nervous when you have this many power plays because you worry that an avalanche of power plays is going to go the other way at some point.
Right. You always feel like they'll be looking for that even up here at some point.
Tyler Ryder on the left wing loses the puck, and it's going to be cleared to neutral ice. Holmes there for the Jackets, up for Dauphiné. He chips it ahead, gets knocked off the play. Falcons go to clear, not out, as it caroms off of a player right to Boynton. And now the Yellow Jackets doing not smart things there, as Roosevelt got right into Boynton's kitchen. Dauphiné actually bumped him, pushing him into the goaltender. Let's not do that, knowing that penalties right now are 6-1. Let's not do things like that. Let's not give them a reason, I guess,
right.
is the way to put it.
Got to make sure we earn it if we take a call here. Do something to break up a scoring chance against or something.
42 left in the power play here. Face off to Boynton's left. Stark, Dauphiné, Roosevelt, Holmes, and Ryder on the ice. Falcons win it. Torres along the end boards, tied up by Roosevelt. Dauphiné in there digging away for it. Stark there as well. Dauphiné dug it out, and then his pass knocked down beautifully by Simpson. In the middle for Reed Loon, and he'll send it all the way down the ice. Skorpic out of the net here, leaving it behind the goal for Ryder. 20 seconds to go in the power play here. Ryder up the left wing for Stark. He tips it in. Really nowhere for him to go with that. Falcons pick it up. Benares has it on the right side. Jackets take an eternity to get to him, so he just holds on to it. And it comes back the other way. Gib Cody across the Yellow Jacket line shorthanded, but Roosevelt on the back check tips it off his stick. Puck in the left wing corner as out of the penalty box, Ethan Lindahl. So back to 5 skaters apiece. Jackets turn it over in the circle now. Shot by Cody hits the outside of the net. Cody centering pass out front. A shot from point-blank range by Owen Belisle, and Skorpic makes the save. And he will hold on, giving us a face-off here in Yellow Jacket territory. A reminder that if you can't get enough of the Yellow Jackets, tune into Eye of the Swarm, the official podcast of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Join the Big Sound, Matt Johnson and me, as we sit down throughout the year with Yellow Jacket student athletes, coaches, and other guests. Eye of the Swarm is available at uwsyellowjackets.com/podcast, Yellow Jacket TV, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. What's going on, Bradley? Okay. We'll check it out.
Another rather discouraging power play there for UWS. You could see the body language, the negative body language, as the Jackets skated over to the bench after the whistle and the stoppage for the media timeout.
Not exactly sure what Coach McKenna is talking about here. He's rather animated, though.
He is.
And I don't know if it is the You know, the Herb Brooks play your game kind of thing. Excuse me. 7:56 to go here in the second. Shots 24-11 Yellow Jackets. They lead, or it's tied 1-1, excuse me. The face-off will be to the left of Jan Skorpic. John Garver and Jason Roan with you here at Westman Arena in Superior. Game 1 of the WIAC semifinals.
Matt Francois won that one too clean. They whistled it dead.
False
We're going to face off again.
DeVornay for the Yellow Jackets wraps that around the left side. Nasty hop off the boards, and the Falcons get it. Sharp angle shot goes off the crossbar. Wow. As Johnny Myers tries to go top shelf on the short side, it rings the iron. Puck comes back the other way. That one broken up at the River Falls line. Teleke now passes that one ahead for Myers right wing. He tries to drop it off. It's the skate of Francois. Myers left corner from a sharp angle. That one knocked down by Francois. He gives it ahead for Colin Pettersson. Pettersson pushes it to the middle, drives it across the line. It comes to the right wing corner. Francois behind the net for Shea. Cade Shea now lost it in his skates, and Teleke picks it up for River Falls. He'll come back the other direction. He flips it into Yellow Jacket territory, and it's going to be gloved there and held by Jan Skorpic. We'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone.
Teleke with something to say to Pettersson after he finished his check hard there. He's still chirping at him as he heads over to the bench. I don't think Pettersson minds.
No. No, he'll just kind of shrug it off and go back about his business. Conversation at center ice by the referees. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Coach Freeman now is getting an explanation. I'm guessing he's asking about the finish check. I'm not exactly sure what the conversation would be.
That one wasn't nearly as late as the finish check he had in the first period.
I'm guessing there's some gamesmanship involved here too, though, of
reminding him.
Hey, fellas, penalties are 6-1 right now.
Yeah, yep. Reminding him of the discrepancy for sure.
Face off to Skorpic's left with 7:09 to go in the second. Falcons controlling the face-off. It comes up to Carpenter at the right point. Jackets can't get it out. It's driven deep. Comes behind the net to the right wing side. Danziger there. He tried to clear that up the wall. It's broken up. Now Rasmussen to clear, held in. Voss at the left point takes a long shot that's sticked away by Skorpic, and then the puck gets up on the back of the goal. And we'll have another stoppage and a face-off in Yellow Jacket territory.
Lively ricochet off the end boards there. Came all the way back and hopped up on the mesh.
Face off to Skorpic's right this time. Rasmussen in to take it. They'll square off with Pazzarelli. Rasmussen wins it clean. Danziger up the right wing. Nickerson chips it ahead. Rasmussen rink wide on the left now, and Riddle is going to flip that down into the Falcon zone. Nickerson giving chase, trying to knock that one out of the air. Comes behind the net to the right corner. Rasmussen's got it, turns and fires. Boynton the save. No rebound there, and he'll take the stoppage. I've seen that a number of times tonight, and I'm wondering if that's part of the game plan, Jason. Right there, Rasmussen was he was carrying it up the right wing board away from the net, quickly turned and fired. And we've seen that 3 or 4 times from the Yellow Jackets here tonight. So is that their game plan?
Including one that went in.
Right.
So, yeah.
So is that their game plan, like River Falls appears to be targeting the 5-hole? Hunter Jones on the right wing for River Falls. Flips it to neutral ice. Jackets misplay it inside their own line. Yarmolnik recovers and gets it ahead to center. Benares on the left wing, plays it ahead. Jackets break it up. Ishmael along the right wing boards. His pass hits a skate. Holmes now ahead for Setter. Setter, right circle, takes it to the net. The shot, the save is made, and the Falcons are going to pounce on that rebound and send it all the way down. Doesn't have enough for icing. Behind the net now, Ryder. Up the left wing for Setter. That does have enough on it for icing. And we'll take a stoppage in play.
Nice to see Setter not settling for a perimeter shot there. Dropped a shoulder and drove hard to the middle. Got a good scoring chance out of it for the Yellow Jackets.
I wish guys did that more.
Yeah. It might not be you that scores, But with the chaos you cause, it
Right.
could be the second guy.
You're going to create a rebound. I mean, there's a number of different things you can do, or potentially draw a penalty too.
Right.
Stevens point on the board now, so it's 3-1 with less than a minute to play in period number 2 at KB Willett Arena. Shots currently 30-12.
Wow.
The Blue Golds, they give the Pointers fits. Face off to Skorpik's right. No, that wasn't the immediate timeout. It took them that long to sort some things out in that circle. Jackets win the draw. Setter now. Over to the right wing for Yermolnik. He tries to drive it to the net. Center's off the skate of Setter. Yellow Jackets able to pick it up in the neutral zone. And Dvorny plays it in. Loved by Boynton. He'll drop it for Teleki. Behind the net for Lee. Rink wide feed on the right wing. Now Simpson across the Yellow Jacket line. Sends it behind the goal. Simpson left side. Poke check by Dvorny. Up the right board. Roosevelt tipped it to the middle. Intercepted by Lee. Then his pass knocked down by Dauphiné. Puck stays in the zone. Skorpik will glove that out of the air and drop it for Brennan. Brennan ahead on the left wing. Stark tips it in. Carpenter behind the net. Loses the puck dangerously at the left side of the goal, but he's able to recover. His clearing attempt knocked down by Roosevelt. To the left corner, Dauphiné tips it over to the side of the net looking for Stark, but it's broken up. Dauphiné gets it back left corner. Dauphiné, who had a glorious opportunity early in this period, seconds before River Falls took the lead, now sends it up to the point. Dvorny was going one way, the puck goes the other. Yellow Jacket forward line will change. Dauphiné takes his frustration out on the stick. Meanwhile, back the other way, the Jackets turn it over and a long shot from the wing by Ethan Lindahl, tipped out of play by Skorpik.
Good time for a line change there. Jackets a little sloppy in their own zone, blindly trying to clear that puck up the boards, put it right onto the River Falls stick. Got to manage the puck, especially as we get into the later stages of this period.
4.5 minutes to go here. Period number 2. Yellow Jackets and River Falls tied 1-1. Face off to Skorpik's left. Controlled by the Falcons. A shot from the line taken by Benares. Kind of snuck up on Skorpik there. And he throws the blocker hand up and deflects it out of play, and we'll do it again.
Not every day you get to see a goalie blocker a puck almost into the rafters.
Denny Lemieux did it.
Got good height on that one.
Do it again to his left. 4:25 remains. Falcons controlling the faceoff. Cody in the right circle. A shot. Jackets going to stick on that and tip it to the corner. Ryder up the right wing. I don't know what that one hit, but it stays in the zone momentarily. But now Pettersson to center with it here. Pettersson across the line. Pettersson right circle. Feeds it in front for Cade Shea. He got a stick in there. Unfortunately, I don't think he got anything on the puck. Boynton will cover that one up.
Just can't say enough about the game that Colin Pettersson is playing tonight. Always a hard-nosed player. Obviously has the goal tonight as well. Did a nice job there. Despite having a lot of defense around him, managed to get the puck to the net anyway and create a chance. And a solid game.
Francois will take the face-off here against Pazzarelli. It's controlled by River Falls. Carpenter wraps that around the right side. Hunter Jones tips it ahead into the Yellow Jacket zone. Ryder chases it down. His pass goes off a skate right to Axel, who feeds it ahead now for Shea. Cade Shea across the line, loses the puck. It comes in toward the goal, swept away by Boynton. Now Axel, a shot save is made. Boynton on the doorstep. Pettersson takes a couple swipes at it, but Boynton gets the glove down.
Not sure if that shot was knuckling or if it got partially deflected out front, but dangerous chance there. Almost found the back of the net.
We'll do it again in the River Falls zone to the left of Boynton. 3:47 remaining in the second period. Tied at 1. Face-off controlled by nobody as of yet. Falcons dig it out of the pile. Atwill tries to clear. Riddle knocks that down. It does come out to neutral ice where the Yellow Jackets stop that and send it back into River Falls territory. Carpenter giving chase. Nickerson right on his heels. They tie up in the left corner. Riddle comes in. It's pinned against the boards. Caught up in the skates now. Nickerson working it loose for Riddle in the corner. Comes around behind the net. Joey Foss will clear that one up the boards out to neutral ice. It goes off of Loon and it's picked up by Simpson across the Yellow Jacket line. Burke Simpson down to the right corner. Danziger ties him up along the end board here as we near the 17-minute mark of the second period. Yellow Jackets and Falcons deadlocked at 1. Out of the corner with it here. Atwell gets chopped. Then he throws one back at Rasmussen. 3-on-2 for the Yellow Jackets here. But a good job by the defenseman, Teleki, to break up that pass and force the Yellow Jackets into an offside.
Nickerson with another good win on a 50-50 puck on a dump-in earlier in that shift. Second time he's done that here in the second period. Going to battle on the dump-ins down in the corner and helping his team come away with the puck and be able to generate some sustained zone time.
Face off outside the River Falls line. Dauphiné wins the face-off from Lindahl in a battle of number 10s, and Holmes carries it in. Takes a backhand shot that kind of fooled Boynton, and he blockers that over the top of the net. In the left wing corner, Dauphiné had it. Lindahl takes it away. Dauphiné gets it back left circle. Drops it down low for Stark. Takes it to the net on the backhand. He scores! Reed Stark on the backhand! Absorbs the slash and puts it home. Jackets in front, but don't go away as we have a skirmish at the right of the River Falls goal.
Daniel Roosevelt got absolutely mauled by 2 or 3 River Falls Falcons. And he's up now exhorting the crowd in celebration after this goal that somehow just managed to trickle through Boynton and crawl about 4 inches across the goal line before it came to a stop.
There was a delayed penalty on the play because Stark got hammered with the stick there. Was able to score the goal nonetheless. But we'll have to wait and see here what's going to transpire out of the penalties here, because you're right, Daniel Roosevelt got mugged.
Crowd buzzing here in Westman Arena. Good to see greasy goal there for the Yellow Jackets.
Tyler Lee going to the penalty box for River Falls. I'll be shocked if he's alone.
Looks like they're calling Roosevelt over now, who can only be getting 2 minutes for getting beat up by 3 guys. Got put in a headlock, driven to the ice.
Besides, he deserved it. Long discussion going on here at the scorer's table.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a homer, but Roosevelt got absolutely mauled. I have no idea what could possibly have happened that would get him a 2-minute penalty out of there.
I mean, what? Wrong place, wrong time, I guess.
Yeah,
It reminds me of the Hansen's first shift in Slapshot.
Yes.
When the guy goes down in the corner and all 3 of them are just beating on him.
Yes.
That's kind of what it looked like to me. So there's 4 minutes on the board for Lee.
Maybe that's how they'll adjudicate it.
And then they're going to put 2. Nope.
Nope, 4 each, huh? Okay. All right. Well, maybe Roosevelt did something to incite all of that. And I only caught a glimpse of it once he was already in a headlock and getting fed to the ice. At any rate, Jackets up 2-1.
We're just glued to the monitor again going, what's the call going to be?
A long break here for the goalies. Jan Skorpik has been alone down at his end of the ice for
doing
5 minutes now.
Calisthenics down there.
Discussion ongoing at center ice. Gavin Rasmussen arguing on behalf of the Yellow Jackets. Not really arguing, just listening and getting the download. Now he's going to bring that over to the bench.
So I see one of the penalties for Lee is roughing.
Okay.
And in college hockey, there are no double minors like there are in the National Hockey League. So it's 2-minute minor penalties, and I'm assuming it's going to be 4 minutes each for roughing, basically. Yeah, both of Roosevelt's are up now as roughing. So I'm going to hazard a guess that that's what we have across the board.
And it looks like we're going unassisted on the start goal, yes?
That's what they haven't put an assist in.
I'd have to see it again. I really didn't.
I thought Dauphin got him the puck.
Him.
Unless they're going to say that was a turnover.
All right.
I feel like we have mass confusion here right now. I mean,
yeah,
this has been a really long delay.
It's a long delay.
And it's unfortunate because you just pop a goal.
Right.
You get the crowd into it.
Yeah.
You get a Civ chant going. And now it just stops.
Now you could have went and cooked a pizza and come back, and we still haven't started play again.
I didn't have dinner, man. Don't do that. There'll be 2.5 minutes remaining here. Now the referees are chatting it up again. They're saying 9 from 7 on the goal. So Roosevelt from Stark.
Okay. And we're back to action at 4-on-4 here.
For Roosevelt, it'll be his 7th.
Yellow Jackets, his 7th goal of the season, number 9, Dan Roosevelt. He got an assist from number 7, Reed Stark. That's Roosevelt from...
So Stark with the lone helper from Roosevelt here, putting the Jackets in front. Puck is in the River Falls zone. Teleki behind the net. Flips that one ahead, knocked out of the air. Rasmussen's got it now. Rasmussen upended, play continuing on. In the slot, Riddle a shot. That catches a leg, and it'll be deflected over the glass and out of play.
That likely should have been a penalty, but these guys really don't want to keep calling minors on River Falls.
No, they don't. And I again, the penalties, if you take these ones out, we're 6-1.
Right.
I think it's...
We talked about the even up. That may have been the best they could do by not calling
the Yellow
it.
Jackets, it's not like they haven't taken a couple here tonight.
Right.
They have, that just haven't been called. The River Falls penalties have been penalties.
Yeah.
In the left corner, Ishmael behind the net now to the right wing side. Knocked down on the play. The puck picked up by Dauphin. 4-on-4 here for at least the remainder of period number 2 and into the opening stages of number 3, pending on the other infractions. Burke Simpson up the right wing, sends it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Broken up there by DeVornay, ahead for Ishmael. He gets across the red line and dumps it in. Foss giving chase. Dauphin has it behind the net. Brennan right circle, fires, and a save made by Boynton as that one clipped him on the shoulder. Now Ishmael right circle, stick handles. Carries it down to the corner, hits the brakes there. Ishmael up top. Brennan from the right point carries down. Brennan to the net on the backhand, and he'll push that one right through the goal crease. He's had a nice game for the Yellow Jackets tonight. Simpson back the other way. Feeds Smith right circle, a shot blocked by DeVornay. Puck centered. It's going to get away from everybody in a red sweater and come back out to the neutral zone. Teleki leaving it here for Davis. Alex Davis across the Yellow Jacket blue line up top. Teleki, a one-timer from the line and a big save by Skorpik. In the left wing corner, Gib Cody for the Falcons. Had it along the end boards. Yellow Jackets get it back. DeVornay now. Nowhere for him to go. He was able to wiggle his way out of trouble there and feed Dauphin on the left wing. Over to the right side for Brennan. He's gassed and he gets the red line. Feeds DeVornay, who comes across the line. Into the Falcon zone right circle. A shot saved by Boynton. Rebound picked up by Davis, and he'll carry it back with 20 seconds to go in the second period. Cody up the left wing. Into the Yellow Jacket zone, throws it to the front of the net, broken up by Skorpik. Teleki a long shot, Skorpik makes the save. Puck loose behind the Yellow Jacket net, Francois tying up Cody. Puck is along the end boards there, Francois checking the scoreboard. And that's the way this one's going to come to a close, and then Francois takes down Cody behind the net. Referee Travis Allberg stepping in, going, we're just going to leave this here, gentlemen. So you go your way, you go yours. And let's everybody enjoy the intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated.
What a finishing shift there for DeVornay. Beat 2 guys to exit the zone and then ended up creating a scoring chance down on the other end.
2 periods in the books here at Westman Arena. It's a 2-1 Yellow Jacket lead. We'll take our time out and come back with intermission number 2, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. At Westman Arena, it's our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. The Yellow Jackets with a 2-1 lead over River Falls after 40 minutes of play. A scoreless game after one. River Falls breaking the ice around just under 5 minutes into the second period on a goal, unassisted goal. They gave it to I had that wrong. It was Ian Carpenter, excuse me. And that one, Jason, coming on the tail end of arguably the best opportunity of the period for the Yellow Jackets when Justin Dauphiné got stoned in the goal crease.
Yeah, right. Great feed from Reed Stark. Justin Dauphiné stopped on probably the save of the year by Boynton with the left leg pad. And then the puck goes the other way. We talked about Yarmolnak getting tied up with the official as he jumped over the boards. That left UWS with only one player back, and the Falcons were able to take advantage of it.
Unassisted goal for Carpenter, his first at 4:58, gave River Falls the 1-0 lead, and at that point it felt kind of they kind of grabbed the momentum on that, because they weathered the early storm in the second period because the Jackets came out good again, and they weathered it and then get that goal, and you kind of have a sinking feeling because they've got the momentum. You're not capitalizing on the power play, which is killing you. And they get another power play opportunity, and this time they come through.
Right, yeah, absolutely. River Falls won the next two shifts after that goal they scored, but then UWS back on the power play. Colin Pettersson firing the shot. Like you mentioned during the broadcast, we've seen quite a few of those kind of turnaround shots or curling off the boards and firing low-angle shots on the goaltender, and he shot it into a coffee can there, short side, over the shoulder to even things up, and it was a huge lift emotionally for UWS.
Yeah, that kind of got the crowd back into it with that goal there. Pettersson, his sixth. Sam Brennan got the lone assist on that one. I believe we're still at just him with an assist. He's got the lone assist on that. And that ties the game at 8:06. And then late in the period, because the Jackets kind of got things back after that power play goal, and late in the period, Daniel Roosevelt scoring his 7th goal of the season on a play where Reed Stark got the puck in the circle, took it to the net, got chopped. There was a delayed penalty coming. I thought Stark scored the goal, but apparently his shot stopped. Roosevelt there to pick up the loose change, and he buries it.
Somehow shoved it in. It just barely leaked through Boynton, crossed the goal line by 3 or 4 inches and came to a rest. So barely got in the net, but got in the net nonetheless, and UWS gets the lead.
It was the 7th of the season for Daniel Roosevelt. Stark the assist at 17:30, and then the melee, the skirmish, if you will. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, he came up because he wants to see his face on the monitor. So.
Get a boost.
There you go.
There he is.
There he is. Whoa.
Teddy cam.
The camera's, this is the camera right here, bud.
Yeah. Teddy right in your home.
Right in your kitchen. So the melee after that, Roosevelt, apparently what he did is he scored a goal. And I'm guessing he was boisterous about it.
Probably.
And that causing the situation that we saw there. So he gets 4 minutes for roughing. On the River Falls side, Tyler Lee gets 4 minutes for roughing. We're 4-on-4 right now, but more importantly, the Jackets up 2-1 after 2.
Right, and UWS did a nice job managing that last minute and a half, that last 90 seconds of the second period playing at 4-on-4. Did some good work in their defensive zone to make sure that pucks got out and nothing crazy happened to quell the momentum that they had built by getting that second goal to take the lead.
Shots on goal in the second period, the Yellow Jackets 20 for a two-period total of 31. And River Falls had 11 for a two-period total of 16. Penalties in the game so far. The Yellow Jackets have taken 3 penalties for 6 minutes. River Falls has taken 8 penalties for 16 minutes. So definitely a discrepancy there in the number of penalties that are being called. Again, not saying that the Yellow Jackets are out there serving the public while River Falls is stealing hubcaps, but those have been penalties.
Yeah, they've been penalties. There's no way around it. You know, obviously the officials don't like it when there's a huge discrepancy, but they've really been left with no choice in this one. So that's the way they've had to call it. And a little bit of a surprise because neither of these teams came into this game having taken a huge number of penalties.
No,
but it's just the way this game has gone tonight.
You know, the Yellow Jackets were were the least penalized team in the WIAC until they played that game at Stout a couple of weeks ago. And River Falls, right now, the second least penalized team in the WIAC. So these aren't two chippy teams here.
Right.
But
just been one of those nights.
One of those nights, I guess, because we could have the same two teams tomorrow and have a whopping 3 penalties total.
Right, but what's not surprising is seeing this a relatively low-scoring game. Neither of these teams have scored more than 3 goals in the last 5 meetings. You absolutely had to expect this kind of 2-1, 1-1 type situation coming into this weekend.
Well, 3 meetings in the regular season. The teams combined for 12 goals in those 3 games.
Right.
So this was 2 of those go to overtime. This was going to be a tight series. We knew that one. This is going to be 6 very tight periods. And, that's the beauty of the WIAC. These games are all going to be tight. The last 4 teams, any one of the 4 could win this thing. Any one of the 4 could advance to the NCAA tournament and do really well. So it's just not shocking that we are going into the 3rd period with a 2-1 game.
Right.
Jackets up by 1, 2-1 after 2. We'll take a break and come back with more of our second intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. We're back at Westman Arena, about 8.5 minutes away from the start of the 3rd period. Yellow Jackets leading this one 2-1 through 40. Scoring change on that last Yellow Jacket goal. It is no longer belonging to Daniel Roosevelt. It is indeed Reed Stark's goal, his 14th of the season. Justin Dauphiné got the assist, so just kind of what I figured was going to happen is indeed the case. Start from Dauphiné at 17:30, so then the rewind and what did Daniel Roosevelt do? I'll have to ask Rosie after the game and find out what exactly he did to warrant such a response from the Falcon defense.
It was a lively response.
It was. They got their money's worth on that one. So you talked about it earlier. If you're going to take one, get your money's worth, and they definitely did there.
Yes, they did.
So at any rate, you were doing some research today, apparently. So what do you want to talk about?
All right, so on this date in hockey history, usually we come at you with some sort of wild-eyed NHL take from like the 1930s or something like that. But this time we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to go on this date in hockey history. There was an occasion, the first ever occasion, of these 2 teams playing a playoff game on this date in hockey history. So that would be February 28th, 2003, I think. Are we going back to 2003 for this one? So, so for a playoff meeting of these 2 teams on this date in hockey history.
Yes, that was.
And it was odd because it was a neutral site kind of scenario too.
It was,
so
yeah.
That stood out as being a little different.
That was back then. They only did it for 2 years. And this was the second of the 2 years where you played everybody in the NCHA at that time made the playoffs. That was back when the Yellow Jackets were still a member of the NCHA. Everybody made the playoffs, and there was 8 teams. The Final 4 advanced to a Final 4, played at the highest seed. So the Yellow Jackets were the 2 seed. River Falls was the 3 seed, and they met in the semifinals at St. Norbert. And so the Yellow Jackets fell behind early. They were down, I believe, 2-1 after the first and 3-2 after the second before scoring 4 in the 3rd period to come back and beat River Falls and set up a date with St. Norbert for the Peters Cup. And they got beat, I believe it was 5-1 or 5-2 in that game.
Another one of those strong St. Norbert squads.
Without a doubt, yeah. And that's, they got really good really fast, St. Norbert did. If you go back to the 1990s, their first couple of years as a relatively new program, they weren't winning a lot. Head coach Tim Coughlin, who's still there, his first game that he was the head coach of the Green Knights was in this building. I want to say it was 1994 or 1993. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the Jackets pumped 32 shots on goal in the first period.
Wow.
Yes. And needless to say, they won handily. And just a couple of years later, St. Norbert's in competition for the first place in the conference. They got really, really good in the late 90s, really, really, really good in the 2000s, and unbelievably good in the mid to late 2000s. They had some heartbreak in there where they made Final Fours. They couldn't win. But once they figured that out, they've just been collecting jewelry since then. I think they have 5 or 6 national championships to their credit. So, yeah, they were the number 1 seed for a long time. They were in both of those years. The year before was much more fun because the Yellow Jackets defeating Stevens Point in the semifinal, setting up the date with St. Norbert in the championship game. And I can still see it. Chris, the press box, if I'm in the press box at St. Norbert, the benches are right below me here. And Chris Wilson, later going on to star in the movie Miracle, comes up the boards, dumps it in. He's heading off. He was at the red line. He just wound up, let it go, and he scored. That was the overtime winner. And that sends the Yellow Jackets, the Peters Cup, back into the NCAA tournament, when your reward for doing that was, I refer to it as the NCAA first round game. Fans called it the play-in game. And I hate that term because, no, you're in. You're in the NCAA tournament. You're just being forced to play in this game here. And so the reward for winning that game on a Saturday was to come back here and play St. Thomas for the right to advance to the quarterfinals, where they would get to go to St. Norbert. So they come here, they beat St. Thomas 2-1. Grand Rapids native Reed Larson with the GWG in that game. And then they're back on the road to St. Norbert. And they play the 2-game series. At that time, it was a Saturday-Sunday. My friend Dan Lucas, the SID at St. Norbert, still calls that Black Sunday for that very reason, as it was a dynamite game on Friday. I think the final score that might have been 4-4 or 5-5. And so it sets up the winner-take-all on Saturday, and the Yellow Jackets came out and outplayed St. Norbert badly to advance to the Final Four, and we all know that they were able to put a really nice banner up and get some jewelry of their own after that. So that was the first time that they had the Final Four setting in the NCHA, and then the next year was the second year. And after that, they said, let's not do this anymore. And that was it.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that's a nice trip down memory lane.
It is.
And then on this date in hockey history, so the first time UWS won, it happened again like 10 years later. These two teams on this date, and once again, UWS emerged victorious. That one, you can still find the game recap of a game that John Garver called on the UWS website. So you can get all the details on that. But
was that the 2014?
Yeah, so I guess maybe 11 years later. So yeah, another win on February 28th.
I remember that because the reason I remember that whole semifinal series is because that was the first year of us not being in the NCHA and being in the WIAC. So there's 2 of your 3 semifinal wins were there. The Friday night game was the game that the puck came over the glass and exploded my coffee cup. And that coffee cup and the puck are still on my desk. But it was the early second period. My cup was full. The puck comes over, hits it, and the mug explodes. And I'm wearing a white dress shirt, and it looks like camo with all these brown blotches all over me. The puck hits the cup, catapults it over my head into the press box, because you would be in front of the press box there. And so I'm soaked. I saw that when the puck was coming, I covered the gear. You always take care of the equipment first. It explodes. I'm soaked. There's coffee all over the back wall. I just started laughing, and I laughed throughout the whole next exchange. I was just giggling on the air. I couldn't even call the game. My scorebook is soaked in coffee. The best part, everybody saw this. And I probably had 8 people come and bring me coffee.
Aww.
I had all these cups of coffee lined up on the table because they felt so bad about this explosion that happened in front of me.
Nice.
So that Jackets won that one 2-1. Then the next night, Dane Belfour was off the charts good. And he ends up bowling a shutout there. So the Jackets win that series. He was lights out in those 2 games. He was absolutely fantastic. And they advanced and got shut out by Eau Claire in the championship game a week later. That was Eau Claire at the time was the defending national champion too. So really, really good hockey club they had there. But yeah, that was that one. And I got all those stains out of that white dress shirt.
Well done, John. So yeah, February 28th has been a good night in the history of UWS River Falls hockey, at least from the perspective of the Yellow Jackets, with the 2 victories. And maybe a third if the Jackets can take care of business here in the third period, which is just about to begin. Again, 4-on-4 for another minute 30 here as the teams draw close in center ice. And away we go.
Gavin Rasmussen will take the face-off for the Yellow Jackets. Finally, they drop the puck, and we are underway here in this third period. In the neutral zone, nearly falling down and coughing it up was Lindahl, but he was able to recover. And it gets sent down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Carson Riddle has the puck off the right wing boards. He'll send it ahead now. Danziger leads the rush. Right wing corner, River Falls territory, gives to Rasmussen up top. Wanted to go off the boards, but wicked hop there, and it comes all the way back down the ice. Yellow Jackets forced to regroup. That's a little bit of a line change there. Jackets doing a good job. Coming from behind the net now with speed is Ishmael. He carries it to center. Ishmael now across the line. Loses it. Pettersson falls, and he scores! Colin Pettersson stays with it. Slides the shot between the pads, and it's 3-1.
Not entirely sure if Ishmael intended to pass that puck or if he just fanned on it. But Colin Pettersson found himself with that puck sitting right on his tape, and he ripped it 5-hole. I think maybe caught Boynton a bit by surprise.
I think it caught everybody by surprise, including me. I didn't expect that to go in, but boy, Pettersson rips it 5-hole, his second of the night. And the Jackets have a little bit of breathing room here in the first minute of the third.
Yellow Jackets, his second goal of the hockey game. Number 16, Colin Pettersson. He got an assist from number 23, Chris Ishmael, and number 8, Blake Holmes. Pettersson from Ishmael.
I thought Danziger, but okay. I'm going to still say Danziger, because I don't even think Holmes is on the ice. At center for River Falls, overskating it, Loon, staying with it, Simpson. He goes down to the left corner, Jackets intercept. Frank DeVornay has got it. Lee out of the box for River Falls. Roosevelt out as well. We're back to 5-on-5. Dauphiné up the right wing. Sends it to the right corner. Dauphiné for the Yellow Jackets here comes out with it. Right circle, tried to take the shot, but that got deflected. Roosevelt left corner now, gets crunched with a check. Puck picked up by Dauphiné. He wanted to go back to Stark, but it's picked off by Pazzarelli. Jackets get it back. Roosevelt finds Stark left circle. He takes the shot, but it gets blocked. Roosevelt on the slot, a shot, and that gets tipped over the top of the net. Now bouncing puck behind the goal. Stark feeds it to the left circle. Roosevelt, a shot in tight, save made. Rebound there for a moment, then Boynton covers. And we'll get a stoppage in play here, but this top line for the Jackets all over River Falls on that shift.
Couldn't script a better start to this third period for the Yellow Jackets, just buzzing in the offensive zone after that goal by Pettersson. Then the first line comes out and creates a bunch of scoring chances down low.
It's a shame they got to change. They were on it there. Face off to the right of Boynton, 17:49 to go here, third period. Jackets up 3-1. They win the face-off. River Falls picks up the puck. Cody to center. Up the right wing, he tips it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Comes to the side of the net. Skorpic forced to make a save as it went off the skate of Axel right to the goal. Now a shot from the right wing by Bonera is sticked away by Skorpic, and Pettersson will clear. Cody right back in, a long shot. Skorpic's going to make the save. He's going to hang on. And mark my words, we are going to see a lot of rubber being thrown at this Yellow Jacket net in the third period.
Yeah, that's going to have to be the formula here for River Falls.
Yellow Jacket women's team down at River Falls in the semifinals. They trail the Falcons 6-1 with 11:14 to go in the third. Tall task for the Yellow Jacket women down there as they got to play the top team in the country. That is absolutely on fire right now. Cade Shea up the right wing into the River Falls zone. Right circle shot tipped over the top of the goal. Penalty coming. They're going to get Matt Francois as he came behind the play and took down Ethan Lindahl, and it's going to be a power play for River Falls.
Well, an opportunity for the vaunted UWS penalty kill to come out here and do some work. They've been solid all season long. Big one to kill off here to maintain this 2-goal lead.
2:43 the time of the penalty. Second power play of the game for River Falls. Jackets have done a good job not giving them the power play because they have the best one in the conference coming into the game, 23.4%. Jackets control the draw but can't clear it out. Two penalty killers fall down. Falcons have numbers down low, but the deflection by Lindahl in front goes wide of the mark.
Yeah, that's not how you draw it up.
No, not at all, as Danziger and I believe Roosevelt collided at the line. But they were able to recover now. Johnny Myers up the right wing with speed into the Yellow Jacket zone. Taken down, but the arms stay down somehow. And then a shot taken from the circle on the left wing side by Dylan Smith is gloved and held by Skorpic. Now that was one Blake Holmes should probably be sitting for a couple there.
He had a hand on him, but it looked like he just blew a tire. But he blew it when he had a hand on him, and that would typically be enough in that situation to earn a penalty.
Stevens Point has rallied and tied it in the third.
Wow, what a game.
Got a good one going at KB Willett. Myers on the right wing, pressured by Dauphiné. The puck comes behind the Yellow Jacket net. Now Myers right corner, behind the net for Loon. Back to Myers. Loon at the right side of the net. Turns and tries to go high short side, but it's tipped over the goal. Pettersson picks up the loose puck, and he'll send it all the way down the ice. Dauphiné charging after it. Nearly got there first, but Dylan Smith beats him to the puck. River Falls with under a minute to go in the power play now. Teleki from behind his net. Gives it ahead for Simpson on the right wing. He comes into Yellow Jacket territory. Burke Simpson for River Falls behind the nets of the left wing corner. Up top, Davis at the left point. Now down to right corner. Hunter Jones with a shot. The save is made. Skorpic rebound pops in the air. Puck's going to bounce over to the right wing side, and Rasmussen will rifle that down. 30 seconds left in the penalty to Matt Francois. As Burke Simpson has it at center. Carries it over to the right wing. Has it poked off his stick by Blake Setter. And Tyler Lee forced all the way back down behind his own net. Lee behind the goal now. Passes it over to the right wing out of the reach of Owen Belisle, but he catches up to the puck and carries into the zone. Swept off his stick. Holmes to clear. Didn't get anything on it. It's held in by Cody. Shot from the right wing is going to go wide. Davis holds it in left point. Francois out of the penalty box. So the Jackets on the penalty kill tonight are 2 for 2. Right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. They chip it ahead, and Danzinger's got it. Gives it ahead on the right wing. This is Setter across the River Falls line. It's poked off his stick, and the Yellow Jackets are going to be called for an offside. As Chris Ishmael brought it back into Falcon territory. After the puck had cleared the zone. Neutral zone face-off. 14:56 remaining here in period number 3. Jackets up 3-1. Same two teams tomorrow night in game 2 of this semifinal series. Part of a sports doubleheader tomorrow. First broadcast coming your way. 4:15 pregame, 4:30 tip-off. The Yellow Jacket women's basketball team versus Northwestern. In the UMAC championship game at the Mertz. The Big Sound Matt Johnson will have the call. Winner gets to cut the nets down and will get an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. Second straight year the Yellow Jackets have hosted. They got upset last year by Minnesota Morris. At the right side of the Yellow Jacket net, Skorpic will cover, and we'll get a face-off here in Yellow Jacket territory.
As we've talked about before, Skorpic not afraid to come out and play the puck. Did that behind the net there and tried to fire it off the glass and out, but bad bounce off the glass and stayed in the zone and went right to a River Falls player and created that whole sequence.
Face off to the left of Jan Skorpic. See, Teddy has made his way into the student section now with the baseball team. Gonna have to give Cole Andrus some money for babysitting, I guess. Frank DeVornay for the Jackets here. Over to the right side for Sam Brennan. Brennan ahead on the left wing, Stark, and he'll flip it in. In case you missed it, Stark given credit for that goal in the second period now. It was originally given to Roosevelt, but they switched that off to Stark. Davis for River Falls gets the red line on the left wing side and dumps it in. DeVornay quickly up the right wing. Roosevelt leaves for Dauphiné, and he'll carry to neutral ice. Dauphiné around one man, off his stick right to Brennan with a nifty stick handling move. Corrals that and sends it deep. Now Johnny Myers quickly up the left wing across the Yellow Jacket line, drags it and shoots it, goes off Dylan Smith. Wide of the mark, then Smith centers. That comes out to the neutral zone. Foss will dump it back in. Blake Holmes for the Jackets now. Flips that ahead to center, gloved out of the air. Now a steal, Nickerson into the zone, fires, and a save made by Boynton. Riddle trying to get to the rebound, but it's swept away from him. Belisle back the other way, across the Yellow Jacket line on the left wing. His shot tipped by Blake Holmes, and that's going to go over the glass into the netting. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 13:15 to play here in the third. 3-1, the Yellow Jackets leading.
Nickerson continuing to make an impact tonight. Recipient there of a turnover and turned it into a great scoring chance. Fired a low, hard shot on Boynton.
Riddle was in good position for the rebound, just a tad too tight. Jackets dump it around the left wing boards for Riddle. He'll bank it out to center. Nickerson across the River Falls line. It's taken from him. Rasmussen picks it up, fires, and that one's going to catch a body in front. Bouncing puck on the right side underneath Rasmussen, who fell down. And the Falcons will flip that high in the air to neutral ice. Holmes will settle it down. Pass it ahead on the right wing, and Rasmussen will send it into the River Falls zone as we have now passed the 7-minute mark of this third period. Myers for River Falls sends that the other way. It comes all the way down. Icing waved off. Dylan Smith pressuring Bergstrom and then knocking him down, forcing the turnover. Danziger poked off his stick. Bergstrom there to recover. And Bergstrom will clear that to neutral for Pettersson. Colin Pettersson gets around one man. Pettersson on the left side. Lost the puck as it hit a stick that had been broken and left. Now Francois in front, the shot! Rebound, he scores! Throw those hits on the ice, ladies and gentlemen. Hat trick. Colin Pettersson, 4-1.
Jackets with great work on the forecheck, creating another second chance scoring opportunity, and Colin Pettersson doesn't need many second chances tonight.
He originally came down the wing and tried to center it, and it hit the broken stick. And it came right to Matt Francois, whose shot was stopped, but Pettersson, Johnny on the spot, buries it. And with 12:17 to go here in the third period, Jackets are up 4-1.
For your Yellow Jackets, his third goal of the game, completing the hat trick, number 16, Colin Pettersson. He got an assist from number 26, Matt Francois, and number 12, Cade Shea.
So Shea also gets an apple on that goal. At 7:43 of the third period. Colin Pettersson's third, first Yellow Jacket hat trick of the season. They only had one guy score 2 goals in a game last year. So I got to get the trusty book out.
What a night for Pettersson.
So I can find out when the last time was somebody put 3 in a game in.
Such a gritty, tough player, and has some skill to go with it, and it's been on full display tonight.
Last Yellow Jacket hat trick, November 5th, 2022. Captain McGregor Sinclair. Blake Setter carries it to center for the Jackets. Over to the right side, Yarmolnik. He dumps it in. Teleki picks it up here for River Falls and feeds it ahead for Tyler Lee on the left wing. Lee tried to center. It hits the referee. Setter picks up the puck. Excuse me. Goes up the right wing with it. Skates right into Yarmolnik, who then helps him get it out to neutral. Ishmael's got it here, and he'll flip it in. Setter giving chase. Ties up Teleki behind the net. Yarmolnik coming out with it up top. Gets past Brennan at the right point. That's going to come all the way down. Eau Claire back in front at Stevens Point now, 4-3. Just over 2 minutes to go. Pointing out of his net, plays it away from the on-rushing Justin Dauphiné. The puck out to neutral, Dylan Smith. Pokes it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Stark follows up there, wraps it hard around the boards to the left side. Roosevelt gets it there, and it's a 3-on-2 to center for the Jackets. Roosevelt up the left wing, feathers that one toward the goal, sticked away by Boynton. Now in the right wing corner, Stark's got it here. Reed Stark scored his team-leading 14th goal of the season late in the second period. Jackets have been on fire since that time. Right wing corner, Yellow Jackets own Smith digs it out, feeds it in front. The shot by Hunter Smith blocked. Sam Brennan to clear. That's not going to leave the zone. Now we get a whistle as Sam Brennan loses the headgear.
Good stick by Roosevelt there. He was the one who deflected and gets cross-checked by number 10 on his way back to the bench. He was the one who deflected that shot attempt by River Falls wide.
Referee Travis Alberg skates over, and you could just kind of see him tilt the head going, what are you doing? Get out of here.
I don't blame him, though. I mean, that was a pretty stern cross-check he just took for no reason.
10:18 to go here in the third period. Jackets up 4-1 now. Blake Holmes inside his line, sends it over to the left side for Ryder. Ryder flips it ahead. Knocked down at the River Falls line. Jackets get it back. Nickerson had it, then lost it. Falcons come back on the rush. Jackets break it up. Riddle has it hop off his skate on the left wing, and it's sent back to the corner. Coming out with it is Loon. Feeds it for Hunter Jones, but that's not going to go. Jackets back the other way. Riddle up the left wing. Had it, then lost it. Benares for River Falls. Wraps that hard around the boards. Hunter Jones on the left wing has it. He'll cross the red line and flip it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Holmes bumps his man behind the net. Digging it out of the pile, Rasmussen for Riddle. Now for Nickerson, and he'll clear it to the center ice. Teleki there, over to the left wing for Tyler Lee. Plays it ahead for Cody. He's knocked off the puck with a good check by Gavin Rasmussen, and the Jackets clear. The smaller man takes down the bigger man in that exchange. Now back the other way. Many players on the ice for River Falls, but play continuing on. Behind the Yellow Jacket net now, Teleki tied up there by Danziger. Francois in there trying to dig it out as well as we pass the 11-minute mark of the third period. Yellow Jackets leading 4-1.
Cody in some pain over there on the bench right now.
Up top to the right point, a long shot kicked away by Skorpic as Dylan Smith one-times that. Now at the left point, Tyler Lee walks it to the middle, leaves it for Teleki, a long shot, glove save, Skorpic, and he'll hang on. And we're going to get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Gives me an opportunity to remind you, if you downloaded Swarm Central, the official rewards and loyalty app of the Yellow Jackets, get started, receive 200 points just for registering, 200 more for downloading the app. Redeem your points for cool prizes in the Swarm Central store. Find Swarm Central in the Apple and Google stores today.
If this were the old days of the WCHA total goal playoff series, we'd be getting to a point now where River Falls would have to really start turning up the juice. What a strange playoff format.
That, a two-game total goal series.
It's hard to believe it was ever the way it was contested.
I mean, you had, of course, you want to ratchet it up and win 8-1 on Friday because then you can cruise on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Just the mindset of a team that comes in, having lost by, like 3 or 4 goals or more on Friday night. It's like, it's not enough to just win. We've got to win by 6 tonight.
Like, what a downer.
Right.
There's no way you can come back. They have gone final in Stevens Point. Eau Claire with the upset as they defeat the Pointers 4-3 tonight to take a 1-0 lead in their semifinal series. Some folks exiting early. 91.3 on your dial.
That's right. We'll get you home.
Yep. Complete with the post-game show sponsored by Synovus Energy. You don't want to miss that because the 3-star selection's coming. Puck cleared out to the neutral zone here. Tyler Ryder dumps it back in. Comes around to the right wing corner. Setter picks it up. He's had a good game tonight. Yarmalnik in there as well. He gets knocked off the play, falls down, puck underneath him. Right back up and working it. Setter gets crunched by Teleki. Yarmalnik in there again. Good grinding shift by the Yellow Jacket fourth line. Now in the left corner, Setter gets away from Tyler Lee, still has control, and he gets crunched along the end boards. That could have been a penalty, but nope, not so much. Yarmalnik out with it here. Turns and fires, and the save is made by Boynton. Johnny Myers on the left wing clears it to center. Axel goes to dump it in and actually hits Yarmalnik, and it bounces back into River Falls territory. In the neutral zone, Ryder starts up the left wing and flips that one ahead. High in the air, knocked out of the air by Davis. He'll leave it behind the net for Teleki. Teleki's pass knocked down by Roosevelt. Tried to get it to the front of the net, but Falcons intercept and come back on the attack. It's dumped into the left wing corner. Brennan going after it there. Brennan tying up with Jones. Brenner knocking Jones down. Jones tries to spin away from it there as the puck is pinned to the boards. Dauphiné and Loon doing battle. Lean all over him, Sam Brennan. Let him know you're there. Behind the net, Loon, centering pass, knocked down. Simpson, a backhand shot from point-blank range, and Skorpic steers that away. On the left wing board, Stark absorbs the hit, gets it for Dauphiné. He's 1-on-2 right now, waiting for help, and it comes in the form of Sam Brennan. He'll cross the red line and dump it in. Speeding down the left wing, Riddle picks it up. Carson Riddle now, all the way up to the blue line before cycling it deep. Dauphiné behind the net, has it right corner, gets away from Davis. Tried to center, it hits the back of the net. Riddle picks it up in the right corner. Jackets winning all the foot races right now. All the 50-50 pucks are going their way. Holmes from the neutral zone, he'll dump it back in. Behind the net, Simpson wraps that one over to the right wing side. Played ahead by Benares now. Across the Yellow Jacket line, Cody a long shot that goes wide. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets here. Blake Holmes takes down Atwill behind, or Lindahl, behind. Nope, check that. It's not Lindahl either. It was Corman. And it's going to be a power play here for the Falcons.
Blake Holmes expressing his frustration vehemently here at this call.
Time of that penalty is 14 minutes of the period. It'll be the third power play here. So the Yellow Jackets on the kill here with Holmes out for cross-checking. Smith in the left circle takes the shot. Skorpic makes the save and deflects the rebound to the left corner. Now behind the net, Bergstrom picks up the puck. His clearing attempt will go off the back of the goal. Falcons have it down low. Loon into the circle. A one-time shot by Smith is going to whistle wide of the net. Yellow Jackets, Danziger picks up the puck now, and he'll clear it ahead. 2-on-1 shorthanded, but it gets past Colin Pedersen. It comes all the way down. Loon in the left corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Plays that into the slot, intercepted by Rasmus, and he'll clear. River Falls will have to go 200 feet. Minutes ago in the power play here. 5 minutes remaining in the third period. 4-1, the Yellow Jackets in front. Pass ahead on the right wing, out of Davis's reach. That's going to be icing. Face-off coming back here in River Falls territory.
Jackets breaking this thing up into 5-minute segments in the third. Time to win that final 5 right now. All starts with a good penalty kill on this last 52 seconds of the Blake Holmes penalty.
Rasmussen and Roosevelt up front. Ryder and DeVornay back on the blue line. Teleke has got it behind the net for River Falls, and he'll start up the middle with it here. Over now on the right wing. Simpson drives the net in a sharp angle shot. Knocked away by Skorpic. Rebound caroms all the way to the neutral zone. Back in they come again. Jones with a shot. Jackets block that. Ryder to clear. Puts that one into the bench. A very nonchalant Paul Bittner puts the right hand up. He's not diving for cover.
They were tracking that one. That wasn't
I did see Mouse duck, though.
Yes.
Mouse a little gun shy right now. Face-off will be in the Yellow Jacket zone with 25 seconds left in the minor penalty.
Francois having another clean win nullified as they'll redraw this one. No worries, he wins it again.
Wins it again. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, Danziger tries to dig it out. Finally, it comes loose into the right circle, and Pettersson will send that all the way down. Final seconds tick off the penalty as Blake Holmes is out of the box, so the Jackets have killed it off. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, the puck pops up in the air. Cody giving chase, but Yarmolnik is going to get there. Passes ahead for Pettersson, and he'll dump it in. On the left wing board, Setter dumps it down to the left corner. River Falls territory, 3.5 minutes to go. In the third, Jackets up 4-1. Coming out of the corner with it, Setter. Up top for Brennan at the right point. He takes a shot that gets blocked. Parker Corman back the other way. Corman now left side is shot. Skorpic makes the save. DeVornay on the loose puck. Ahead for Setter, and he'll clear.
Setter with another strong shift there for the Jackets.
He's been good tonight.
He has.
He's been really good tonight. On the left wing in the Yellow Jacket zone, Dylan Smith for the Falcons. Sends it up top, Tyler Lee. Left point over the right point. Teleke is shot, tipped at the line. Blake Setter gets a stick on that and deflects it out of play.
Really good night for the freshman from Calgary.
Or Calgary, if you prefer. I've heard it both ways. 2:47 remaining here in the third. Jackets up comfortably right now. Johnny Myers takes the long shot. It's blocked. Scooping it up, Holmes sends it back the other way, trying to spring Stark, who snuck behind the D, but it's broken up. Holmes now flips that one ahead, and it's going to come down into the River Falls zone. Pull Teleke with it here for the Falcons. Mishandles the puck. Roosevelt picks it up. Teleke bumps him into the boards. Puck tied up. It's in Roosevelt's skate. Teleke falls down. Gets back up, but Dauphine's got the biscuit on the half board here. Comes down behind the net for Stark. Intercepted there, however, by Ethan Lindahl. He'll go behind the net with it. It's going to be played by Lee to neutral ice. Johnny Myers on the left wing dumps it in. Skorpic out of the goal, sets it up there for Holmes. Ahead on the right wing for Roosevelt. Now for Dauphin. Dauphin turns it over at the line. River Falls will retreat with under 2 minutes to play. Burke Simpson on the left wing sends it ahead. Jackets break that one up. Justin Dauphin backing it up for Holmes. Holmes now flips it to neutral ice. Bouncing puck goes over the stick of Stark. And River Falls will come back the other direction here. Long shot from the left wing by Simpson. Stick save by Skorpic. Jackets try to clear it out. Shmeknov has it. Arseny Schmecknaw drives it to the front of the net. Yellow Jackets intercept, and Roosevelt will flip that one all the way down the ice. Now a steal by Carson Riddle into the high slot. Nickerson a shot. It's tipped over the top of the goal. Davis clears that one away from trouble, and Corman's going to flip that to neutralize. Knocked down there by Bergstrom. Puck comes back to the Yellow Jacket blue line. Danziger tips it by the forechecker, and Nickerson will softly play that one up the right wing boards.
That big easy reach of Danziger there, just enough to tip that puck out of the zone.
Under a minute to play here now in the third. Yellow Jackets about to take a 1-0 lead in this series as they lead 4-1. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, Nickerson. He'll come out with the puck and start it up ice. They're going to give him the lane, so he'll carry. Crosses the red and dumps it in. It's on goal. Boynton covers. And with 33.5 seconds left, face-off coming up here in the River Falls zone.
Both teams taking it easy at this point, trying to live to fight another day.
Francois wins the draw. Pettersson bidding for 4, and that one gets blocked. It's going to come all the way down and be icing with 26.3 seconds left. I'd have to go back and look at the date, but it was Talon Berlando who had the last 4-goal game. That one coming against Finlandia. Falcons controlling the face-off, and they carry it to the line. Jones will back it up. Gives to Carpenter. Now ahead on the right wing, Jones across the Yellow Jacket line. A shot gloved by Skorpic, and he'll hold on to it with 13.3 seconds to go.
Just to underscore my previous point, even Colin Pettersson didn't finish a check there. you know that the teams are done for the night when that happens.
It's been a heck of a night for the Yellow Jacket junior out of Owatonna, Minnesota. He's got the puck right now, and he's going to retreat to the safety behind his own net. Jones is going to flush him. He'll leave it for Cade Shea. Shea gets bumped along the boards by Jones.
There's always got to be one.
There's got to be one.
Got to be one guy.
And that was it at the very end.
You could tell by the way he pursued Pettersson, like
he was going to bump someone.
He was going to hit somebody.
At any rate, the horn sounds, and this one's over. Yellow Jackets back in the win column here tonight. They defeat UW River Falls 4-1 to take a 1-0 lead in their WIAC semifinal series. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we will come back with the postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. Here at Westman Arena, final score here tonight. The Yellow Jackets with a 4-1 win over UW River Falls to take a 1-0 lead in their WIAC semifinal series. John Garver and Jason Roan with you here on the postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy. And it comes on the heels of a really nice, complete 60-minute win for the Jackets tonight.
Yeah, solid game for UWS tonight. You really have to pick and choose to find some shifts that they lost in this one. There was that one little lull after River Falls scored their goal. Outside of that, it was a really thorough effort by UWS.
Yeah, one of the better, I think, full 60s we've seen throughout the season here. And just it's hard for me to nitpick it all, so I'm going to let the assistant coach do it here as Brian Meisner steps into the booth to join us here. And you want to test the mic?
Hello.
Quick? All right, Mouse is on with us. Perfect. So really nice, complete 60 minutes tonight.
Yeah, for the most part, a really good job, and obviously nice to get that first one, especially on a Friday night. And now we're in the driver's seat. See what happens here tomorrow. But yeah, it's quite a game.
Colin Pedersen was the straw that stirred the drink tonight. He was awesome. A man among boys tonight.
Yeah, he was. I mean, we needed something to happen. He was the guy who got. I mean, obviously the 3 goals, but that first goal was huge. Just the way he played, he just commanded his presence on the ice. Every time he was out there, you had to be aware of him. And, I mean, it was awesome. I don't know when the last time he got a hat trick, but I'm sure glad it was tonight.
November 5th, 2022.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, McGregor Sinclair got it on that one. So
I'm talking about even Petey, when the last time he got a hat trick.
Oh, well, he's only got like 9 goals in his career, so it hasn't happened here.
That's what I'm saying. I know.
But it was a complete effort all the way around. He was really, really good tonight.
Yeah.
Sam Brennan was fantastic tonight.
He was really good, too. Yeah, and he had, this time off, we're able to have a lot of practices. And then all of a sudden, we changed our power plays around a little bit. And Sammy just took control of that second or first, whatever. They're the same power play group. And Richie was telling me, I mean, Sam's running. He's running our power play. He's doing a great job. We're going with Sam. Like, great. Love it.
The whole defense corps did a really good job tonight, right? I mean, you got to have positive things to say. It's like they don't always factor in the scoring necessarily,
right.
But that was a really solid effort on the back end tonight.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I thought a couple times, the goal we gave up, we got caught up ice. We got caught up ice a couple of times. We're trying to get a little too aggressive, but I'd rather have to pull them back in than try and push them, right? So, yeah, they did a good job. I thought that third period was just solid. The first period was awesome.
Yes, first period was great.
The second period kind of got a little away from our game a little bit, but we only gave up, what was the total shots, 27 or something?
It was 28, so.
Yeah, but how many were in the house? That's what I want.
Not very many.
Yeah,
so not very many. And that was kind of what we talked about, knowing in the third period, as soon as you went up 3-1, you knew they were going to start firing pucks from everywhere.
Yeah.
And for the most part, everything was perimeter. They didn't get too many in tight in the third period.
No, I didn't think so either, and that's why I'm really proud of our D. And even our forwards for coming back. I thought in the first period our forwards were fantastic on the back check. And I can remember JD coming back one time, Ish. I mean, we just had everybody buying in. I thought Blake Setter was unbelievable.
I thought he had a great game.
Yeah, we talked about that on the air tonight.
Yeah, like he's another guy, which is fun to watch, but he goes out there in the forecheck, and all of a sudden, he's coming away with that puck, right? It's not even a 50-50 puck sometimes, or it should be the other guy's puck, right? And he just bulldozes his way in there and grabs the puck, and he's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Your goaltender.
Yeah.
He was great tonight.
He was really great. And he made some huge saves at the right time. I mean, their goalie, right before they scored, I cannot believe he made that
I don't
save.
know how he made that
was
save.
Amazing. The little leg, that was amazing.
His whole body was going this way.
Yeah.
The puck was coming back this way.
And our leading goal scorer, I mean, the guy you want to have the puck.
Yeah,
it
was a great move and just a miraculous save there. That was fantastic. But, yeah, Skorpic made some great saves. And also, he brings an ability to play the puck a little bit. And that's got to be something that helps out all the players for UWS, but especially the defenders.
Sure.
He has the ability to come out of the net and kind of help break that puck out or at least get it started sometimes, right?
100%. And he did that against Point, which really helped us. And, and then tonight, too, he handles the puck very, very well. Maybe better than any of our other goalies and maybe better than some of our I'm just kidding.
Speaking of Stevens Point, they fall tonight. Eau Claire with the upset
I
there.
Get off the bench and Ben's telling me, hey, they lost.
Yeah, Eau Claire with the upset,
so we win tomorrow, so
right.
Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me either. Eau Claire is very good defensively. They're well coached. I mean, both teams are, but I think to win at this time of the year, you have to play defense, and so we'll see.
So, game 1 in the books. You got the important one here now, and game 2 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
How do you regroup quickly and go, hey, basically, fellas, same stuff tomorrow?
Yeah, again, it's worrying about us more than worrying about the team that we're playing, and it's taking care of our game and making sure that we're doing things the right way. You know, in the first period, although it was a good period, I thought, defensively, offensively, we weren't really generating a lot because we weren't sustaining a lot of pressure down low. We weren't grinding. We like to call it grinding down low, protecting the puck, using the net. We weren't doing a lot of that. In the second period, we started getting to that, and I think that slowed them down. Tires another team out. And we have, when JD's line is going, I don't know if there's a better team or line in the conference than that line. So they're fun to watch. Rosie was great tonight. You know, Starkey was unbelievable. So, yeah, we need those guys again tomorrow, right? We need those guys again tomorrow.
Well, you're at the point in the year now where you need them every single night.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
So, big win tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Appreciate you
Congrats.
stopping by.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, what do you got to say, bud?
I love you, Dad and Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
That-a-way, Teddy.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. All right, you want to see the camera quick? I know you want to get up in there.
There he is. Teddy Cam. There he is. Teddy and Dino. Dino Cam.
All right, Duddy, go, pal. Oh, there we go. All right, so he's got a big weekend ahead of him, too.
It's true.
They're heading for Ashland tomorrow. 1 game tomorrow, 3 on Sunday. So
right on.
You got some
a big weekend of hockey.
Big weekend for Superior Might 1 Gray, let me tell you. But at any rate here, Coach Brian Meisner stopped by to talk with us a little bit here in the postgame, and we jump back into our postgame summary. But it was he talked about the first period. I thought the first period was really, really good. And it was only because Brendan Boyton played fantastic that thing was scoreless after 1.
Right, yeah. The UWS ended up with 3 power play chances in that first period and 11 5 shots on goal advantage. So they generated some stuff, but Boynton was able to keep them off the scoreboard.
That all changed, however, in the second period as the Yellow Jackets, you heard Mouse talk about, they kind of got caught up in the wash a little bit there. Yarmo runs into a referee, defenseman getting up ice, and the next thing you know, you got a 3-on-1 coming back at you, and Jan Skorpik gets beat 5-hole.
Yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm of bad things happening on that play.
Ian Carpenter getting credit for the goal. His first of the season, Owen Belisle got the assist, and it was 1-0 River Falls at that point. The Yellow Jackets, however, were able to answer very quickly, and it was a great goal by Colin Pedersen, both from the terms of how he did on the forecheck and from that shot.
Right, and timely, too. UWS kind of lost a couple shifts after giving up that first goal, so they needed something to rebuild momentum, and they got it from Pedersen with a great shot, top corner, short side.
Colin Pedersen with the power play goal at 8:06 of the second period. Locks the score at 1. Pedersen coming out of that left corner, getting that puck in the left circle. Quick turn and fire, and you keep making reference to the coffee can. He snuck that thing into both basically the width of a puck there.
Yeah, he sniped it. That was a great shot, and credit to Brennan for keeping that puck alive and being able to create the assist on it, too.
Brennan getting the helper on the goal. Yellow Jackets were tied at 1, and then at 17:30 of the second period, the Jackets get the eventual game winner. Kind of a strange play for the most part because you get a good forecheck, a delayed penalty, a goal, a melee, double minors, all of this happening in the span of just a few seconds. Eventually, it ends up being Reed Stark getting the game-winning goal, his 14th of the season. Really good effort by him to cut across the crease, take the chop, and stay with that puck to bury it.
Yeah, it was a greasy, grimy goal. It snuck through Boynton, barely got across the goal line, but it did, and that ended up being the game winner.
14th of the year for Reed Stark at 17:30 of the second period, and the Yellow Jackets move in front 2-1. Justin Dauphiné getting the assist on the goal, and then the melee afterward, which resulted in Daniel Roosevelt getting mugged, coming out of there without the stick and really inciting the crowd to make some noise. And, yeah, that was really something to watch the melee. He ends up with 4 minutes. Tyler Lee from River Falls ends up with 4 minutes. That's okay. You go to the locker room, you're up 2-1, you're feeling good.
Yeah, it should have been a big momentum builder, but then we had like a 5-minute delay, so it kind of sucked the air out of the building, but didn't take the lead away from UWS.
Shots on goal in that second period. The Yellow Jackets with 20 for a 2-period total of 31. River Falls had 11 for a 2-period total of 16. And then first minute of the third period, Pedersen scores again, and that sucked the life out of the Falcons.
Right, yeah, you just could not have scripted a better start for UWS. Coming out, start that third period, get a goal early. It's kind of an odd goal, but we'll take it. And obviously it just kind of put things out of reach, like you mentioned.
Pedersen, his second of the night, 50 seconds into the third period, and the Jackets are up 2. Little bit of a lucky bounce there because Ishmael, I don't think that was an intentional pass either. He lost the puck.
Yeah, I think he just kind of fanned on it, lost the puck, but it found its way right onto Pedersen's stick, and he had the hot hand tonight.
His 7th of the season, 2nd of the game. Ishmael and Blake Holmes, the helpers. I still think that was Matt Danziger who got that assist, but it's his Blake Holmes, so it is a 3-1 lead for the Yellow Jackets there. And then at 7:43, Pedersen on the rebound.
Finished it off. He got an opportunity on the rebound like we talked about during the broadcast. He didn't need a lot of second chances. He got an opportunity there, buried it. Nice to see a hat trick. He's earned it. He's a hardworking player. Fun to see him get the payoff.
Keep the puck, young man. That's 3 tonight. Jackets go up 4-1. More can you say? You know, Francois and Cade Shea get the assist on the 3rd of the night from Colin Pedersen. And one of the better individual efforts, one of the most complete 60-minute games we've seen out of a Yellow Jacket in years.
And it's kind of funny the way that happens sometimes on a night when you get the hat trick. I mean, it wasn't like he went coast to coast and created 3 amazing scoring chances that were just unlike anything else. I mean, the first goal was a bit of a solo effort. I mean, he took the shot and sniped it, but you know, it's funny because night in and night out, he works so hard. He always finishes his checks. He's always involved. He's always doing the right things. And tonight, I mean, I don't think he really played a whole lot differently than he ever plays.
It just went in tonight.
It went in tonight,
yeah.
And it was just an amazing, memorable night.
It's interesting when you talk about Colin Pedersen because last year, you know, we talk about he's in the middle of everything. He's a power play guy. He's a penalty kill guy. He's always in the middle of things. He scored 1 goal. He had 1 goal last season. And you're frustrated because, well, the whole team had trouble scoring, but you're frustrated because he's a guy who plays the game the right way. He does everything the right way, and he just could not get a bounce to save his life. And kind of making up for it this year now as he's sitting here with 8 and easily a career high. Because I think he had 3 total goals coming into the season this year.
But you watch him, and it's like, that's the kind of player he is.
Right,
like
exactly.
He should have that many goals. Like, that's the kind of player he is. So
Yep, so it's all kind of coming together, and it came together in a big way here tonight. Shots on goal in the third period. Yellow Jackets had 7 for a game total of 38. River Falls had 12 for a game total of 28. Penalties in the game. The Yellow Jackets 6 penalties for 12 minutes, while River Falls took 9 for 18 minutes. And on the power play, the Yellow Jackets go 1 for 6, and River Falls goes 0 for 3. So the penalty kill comes up big.
Right, yeah, the penalty kill did its job, and you know, you never like going 0 for 5 on the power play, but the Jackets got the 1 power play goal. It was big, it was good, gave them a little bit of a lift right in the middle of that sequence of power plays. So an okay night to maybe a decent, good night on special teams for UWS.
Jan Skorpic gets the victory in goal tonight. He finishes the evening with 27 saves. His record now improving to 5-1-1 on the season. You feel kind of bad because the shutout streak goes by the boards now, and he like 1 goal allowed in his last 260 some odd minutes. So 1 goal allowed in over 4 games. Yeah, I think you're going to take that pretty safe to say he's probably going to get the nod again tomorrow.
Yeah, I would think so, and not only because of the way he stops the puck, but like we talked about in the post-game show here, he has an ability to handle the puck pretty well, and I think it's an underappreciated aspect of the game when your goalie can handle the puck back there and kind of help the breakout and take some of the pounding off the defenseman, and he brings that element to this team, and I think it's helpful, especially in playoff time.
At the other end, Brennan Boynan for River Falls, 34 saves for him. His record drops to 16-11-1. River Falls 16-11-1 on the season with the loss. The Yellow Jackets improve to 19-4-3. 4-1, the Yellow Jackets get the win. We'll take one more break, come back and wrap it up from Westman Arena right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Network. Segment of the postgame show here tonight, sponsored by Synovus Energy. The Yellow Jackets with a 4-1 victory over River Falls to take a 1-0 lead in their WIAC semifinal series. Only other game in the country tonight was taking place at KB Willett Arena in Stevens Point. A mild upset there as UW Eau Claire with a 4-3 win over Stevens Point. Jumped out to the 3-0 lead in the second. Pointers came back to tie it, late goal for the Blue Gold. So they also have the 1-0 lead in that semifinal series. Game 2 of that one tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Game 2 of this one, 7:05. More on that in a moment. Time now. Post-game show 3 stars. Go.
Well, third star tonight, you could look up and down the group of UWS defensemen and give somebody some credit for doing something good. I mean, that whole group was just excellent. We talked about Brennan. I mean, you could have picked any guy, but we went with UWS senior defenseman Blake Holmes. He had 1 assist tonight, 4 shots on goal, had one really nice opportunity where he did a power move and cut to the net and got a good shot on goal, and so he was able to contribute some offense in addition to the solid defense. He was a +1, 4 shots on goal. So one of the UWS defensemen was going to get a star tonight, and you went with the one who just kind of tried to have the most composite involvement in this game.
Okay, so number 3, Blake Holmes.
Second star tonight is UWS senior forward Reed Starkey of the game-winning goal this evening. He was really solid. That whole line was fantastic, and he just happened to be the guy that potted the game-winning goal.
He now has 14 goals on the season, 6 of them of the game-winning variety.
Wow.
That is tops in the WIAC.
Fantastic.
Him and Dauphiné combined have 11 of the 19 game-winning goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not surprising. I mean, those two are the guys you want in that situation.
4 of those are in overtime.
Wow.
I know I can just keep throwing stuff at you, but I won't.
Well, it's good because there's no suspense on who the first star is. Obviously, it's
Better
UWS junior forward Colin Pedersen with the hat trick tonight. Interestingly, he had 3 shots on goal tonight. All 3 of them ended up in the back of the net. He was also a +2, and then he had the 1 power play goal that we mentioned, so it was good to not get shut out on the power play. Pedersen took care of that for the Yellow Jackets tonight as well.
So the number 3 star, Blake Holmes, number 2, Reed Stark, number 1, Colin Pedersen. I think definitely honorable mention Sam Brennan and Jan Skorpik.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there just weren't enough stars to go around in a game that was so solid from top to bottom for UWS tonight.
Next sports broadcast on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV is coming your way tomorrow afternoon from the Mertz. A 4:30 tip, 4:15 pregame show with the Big Sound Matt Johnson as he will bring you live on the air the Yellow Jacket women's basketball team looking to win the UMAC championship and punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament. So good luck to Coach Emily Carpenter and her team as they take on the University of Northwestern. The team split this year. Yellow Jackets won in St. Paul. Northwestern won at the Mertz. Yellow Jackets were up 15 going into the 4th quarter and lost it in overtime. So it was that was a painful one. But they got the number 1 seed. They're on their home court tomorrow, and we'll have that one live beginning with the pregame again at 4:15.
Can't run the stall anymore.
No stalling.
Doesn't work that way.
Our next Yellow Jacket hockey broadcast is soon. They'll be taking on UW River Falls, Game 2 of this WIAC semifinal series. And what the win on Friday does, we'd always talk about, I mean, obviously you want to win every night, but the big thing, this is the important one. Why? Because when you win Friday, you don't have to win on Saturday. A tie gets the job done. So there's a little bit of pressure off. They have a little bit of a buffer now going into tomorrow night, but you still want to get the victory here. 7:05 face-off, 6:30 pregame show right here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV. Final thoughts?
Just great to come out, like you said, get that first win tonight, do good things, be able to win without a key player in the lineup tonight. Just a great win for UWS, and hopefully we can build on that tomorrow night.
The Gus Bus back in the studio at 91.3, watching other games, cutting highlights. Actually got them all to play tonight, so that's a win for us, Gus. Great job back in the studio. Bradley Lillis here with Yellow Jacket TV. For Bradley, for the Gus Bus, for Jason Roan, I am John Garver. Final score here again tonight. The Yellow Jackets emerging victorious 4-1 over UW River Falls to take a 1-0 lead in their WIAC semifinal series. Many thanks for making us a part of your Friday. Hope to have you along again tomorrow night. Good night from Superior, Wisconsin.
Let's put our stamp on this region. All right, let's do it emphatically.